Yeah, we're about to talk about like Trey Lance right now. Trey Lance talking about how he didn't show up to training camp, talk about Jonathan Taylor and some trade rumors, talk about some rookies that's really could put on a good performance this season, and some rookies that may be overvalued or overhyped. But before we get into that, I was looking up your NFL career. Wow, I didn't really you played damn near 2 decades in the league. That's
20. I got
crazy.
it.
You
I'm
got
trying to
20,
get
right?
my pension. Yeah.
Oh, fool. Oh,
My bad. My
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. I'm trying to stay strong.
2 decades is crazy. Like, how were you able to keep that longevity for that long? That's wild to me.
Well, I was fortunate in a lot of people, Dub, that really helped me. Like I had some talent, but it's really, the right coaches, the right wife, the right family, the right mother and father, that kind of stuff. The best friends, that kind of kept me on the right track, and then opportunity. If you don't have an opportunity, if you're not prepared, you're not going to succeed. So, I tried to prepare. And be ready for my opportunity. And I was fortunate that I got an opportunity. And, in every building that I went in, I had somebody that was advocating for me on the other side. And I just had to take care of the talent part.
Is that one of the most underrated things about being an athlete? Like people advocating for you, people being in your corner?
Yeah, because you might be on the team in the building and people can't see you. You have to have somebody that believes in you, and then you have to display that ability, especially at the pro level, high pressure, high performance. You got to do it when you need to do it. And, everybody that puts on a football uniform at 6 or 7 years old has that professional dream in it. And, people, those 6 and 7 year olds, some of them go on to play. But at the same time, it's not a lot of them, but those who get the opportunity are really fortunate and blessed.
That's
right, right.
amazing. Very humble, man.
Facts.
Trent, what you got?
I wanted to ask you something because since you played for so long, you played for 20 years. What do you think is like the biggest change you've seen from today's game since you've been playing? Like, like passing game, like the run game wise. Like, what do you think is like the biggest change you've seen since back when you played?
Well, see, I still love the game, Trent. I'm not one of those guys, those Debbie Downer guys. Oh man, when we played, it wasn't like that. I just
Love
like I just like the game. Uh, the one thing I love that they putting the ball in the area. It's a passing game, but you also have to run the football. I don't agree with the undervaluing of the running back because every time he gets tackled, it's just like every other tackle. So why? What's the value? He's worth every dime he gets when he runs the football. So yeah, I think we have to acknowledge that those guys who run the football, there are elite talent, the people at those positions, and I hate that the game has kind of pushed it this way, or they try to. I think they're ganging up on it in a sense, but the running back, the quarterbacks, the mobility. I love the athletes. The guys are very athletic. I just love the fluidity of the game. I think there's a concern or legitimate concern for player safety. There seems to be that move, but I think there can always be improvement along those lines because at the end of the day, you're trying to get the athlete from performance to performance. And it's a human game and it's a human body, and you got to take care of your body to get to perform its best.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Ray Brown, Mr. Coach, I wanted to ask because I know you played and now you've coached as well. I want to know how was that transition for you when you finally hung it up? Some people, they're kind of reluctant. They don't really know when to. Did you know it was time? And how was that transition from hanging it up to then coaching?
Even when I let it go, it was hard. I had to cry. We got beat in the playoffs in Seattle. So, I think our trainer, Bubba Tyer, at the time when I was in Washington, I went in and cried. And then I got it all off my face and went and told the reporters that I was done. For me, I had gone into my 20th season, had gotten a couple of surgeries, and it was humbling. I forgot when you have surgery, you have to stay there in the off season. That rehab will introduce you to whether you want to play or not. So the fact that I went through an ankle rehab and a knee rehab, I knew I was vested in the season, in the football season. I knew I wasn't gonna let go. But at about week 8, my leg was hurting. I was tired. I thought I was gonna retire in practice.
That's crazy.
It'd be like that.
I'm
It'd be like
you,
that.
yeah, man.
You'd be at
So
practice like, I'm not trying to do this shit no more.
I was like, Lord, you mean this is how it's going to end? I'm going to end up and retire right in the middle of week 8 in practice. And that's it. They're going to ask me, what the hell ever happened to Ray Brown? Oh, that fool retired in practice, man. So I had to work my ass to get through it, man. But once I was done, I was done. And my wife was mad at me because I got asked to come back for a 21st year. I just knew I didn't want to put my mind told me I didn't want to put my body through that. And that's pretty much convinced me. Then I stopped. I didn't work out like I wanted to work out if I'm preparing to play. Like usually I take 2 weeks off and then I get right into it because when I got done, I was 43 years old and I was in the game. I wasn't over there cold holding. I was a starter in a playoff game. So, I was like, shoot, hell, at one point, man, I want to just hand out water and ask them how they playing in there. And still get the check. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to pat the boys on the back and finish out at the Super Bowl. But shit, I had to go in there and play. But I enjoyed it, man. But the transition, I think, is tough for everybody. Even though I played 20 years, I still missed it. But I just didn't want to play. I just knew it was time for me. I told myself it was time for me to stop, and I didn't want to be one of those guys got done and went back and played. I just didn't, and then I fought those desires, but I found my path. I finally found my voice in coaching, and that's what every player has to do. And for me, it was once again, baby, it was opportunity. Dick Geron, who was at Buffalo, Sean Kugler, who had coached the tight ends in Detroit, he called me and said, hey, man, I want you to be my assistant offensive line coach. I had never thought about coaching. I had did radio, TV, tried to dabble in a little real estate investment, trying to figure out life after football. I know my wife got tired of me asking me what she was doing today. So, I had to do something. And football called me back. I'm familiar with it. I know that world, and I just know how to operate within it. And then more than anything, baby, you're dealing with people, man. So if you know you're dealing with people, you'll figure the business out. And it just happened to be football for me, man. And then I meet good people like Trent's dad, Thomas McGahee. Like I had never saw a black special teams coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like guys had never saw a black offensive line coach. All I knew, man, is that I was coaching. I never looked to see what color the guy was. But once I got in the business, I realized that there wasn't a lot of black offensive line coaches. There wasn't a lot of black coaches. So I just thought as a player, when the black coach had his polo on, I thought he was good. I didn't know there was a black coach struggle. So, that it opened my eyes to that thing. And then I know these jobs are tough to get. Whether you're orange, green, blue, purple, there are 32 jobs and they're tough to get, man. But once again, it always falls down, baby, to that opportunity. So I've always had opportunity, and I always usually had time to prepare, and that's where I found my success. And then, hell, I ain't gonna let nobody outwork me. Like, hell,
absolutely.
No.
A few more questions, and then we'll dive into the topics, man, and start debating. Nick from Tri-State asking, toughest player you've ever blocked, Mr. Brown?
Reggie White, man. Yeah, Reggie. That's all. But I did get a game ball, my first game ball against the Eagles in Reggie White. But Reggie White, his versatility, his size, his ability to go down the line of scrimmage from left to right. So he would start out left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle, and he could whoop everybody. Like, yeah,
understandably so. Understandably so. Yeah.
Right.
For sure. And then two more. One, talking about being in the playoffs, how is that environment like in the playoff setting? Is it a different type of feel from a regular NFL game? Like, of course it is, but I want to know what really goes through an NFL player's mind when they're actually in that setting.
Oh, you're gonna be done. You better win or go home. Like really, guys hanging on. You get that extra change. For me, I almost spent all my first playoff check before I got it. But you getting that money, man. Like I went to the Super Bowl in Washington, and we got all the money in the ring.
Yeah,
I went to the Super Bowl with the Panthers as a coach. We got all the money and not the ring. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff, man, is that you're one of the few teams that are still playing, and every game is televised. It's a national event. That's the beauty of the NFL game. It really ties fans into the game, and that playoff time is really exciting and a little more pressure also. So there is a big difference.
no problem. And last one.
Yeah,
I've seen you play. You want to ask it, Trey?
Yeah, I was gonna say because I seen you play for the 49ers for a long time, and I think he was able to play for Jerry Rice for his last 3 years with the 49ers, and then you played with prime T.O. So who would you think is the better player, T.O. or Jerry Rice?
Crazy.
Oh, but the resume says it all. What Jerry did over the course of his career and the length of both of them had long careers. I got a chance as a coach in Buffalo to see T.O. come in and play. So I got a chance to see both of those guys as they got older in their careers. They're justified. They both got them jackets. So, they both on that team. When they blow their whistle that first 11, they probably both going to go on the field, so they're going to both get a shot.
Okay.
Amazing. All right, let's get into it, bro. We were just talking about it before. There's a lot of drama going with Jonathan Taylor right now, going to the Philadelphia Eagles.
What?
Hey, yes. The Eagles are pushing heavy.
Oh, I was like, is that confirmed or is that rumors?
No, they are pushing. They're literally actually
Eagles are pushing heavy to get Jonathan Taylor. This happened within the last hour or so.
I'm not trying to see that.
Hey, look. I would just like to point out they're not the only ones pursuing. The Dolphins are also in the mix for it. However, I just have to put this out.
I'm an Eagles fan.
If the Eagles get Jonathan Taylor
with that line,
that's a ring,
I am throwing up, and I'm not watching football this season because I know the outcome.
Hey, look, I'm gonna say two things about it. So first off, they were trying to get Derrick Henry, so it doesn't surprise me. The Eagles aren't paying Jalen Hurts crazy right now, so I get it.
Right.
I 100% get it. However, if they get this man Jonathan Taylor, look, after last season, I've pretty much been. I am taking Mahomes against the field until the field shows me they can beat Mahomes. But if they put Jonathan Taylor right there. Hey, that's the 2017 Warriors. I'm sorry.
Look,
that's the Golden State
nice
Warriors.
Call,
bro.
baby.
That's the Golden State Warriors right there, boy.
It's not as somebody who wants to one day run an NFL front office, I admire what Howie Roseman is doing, despite the fact that it is probably to the detriment of my father and his staff. But yeah, it's reminiscent of 2017 Warriors. What do you do? Y'all know me. I'm the king of I love 11-man football. That is the ultimate version of 11-man football on offense. What do you do? It's cancel Christmas. Even if he comes back and he is 80% of what he is, because the wear and tear from college and the injuries start to catch up with him, quote unquote. Even if that is somewhat true and he is 80% of what he was in Indianapolis, that is still better than what Miles Sanders was last year in that offense. And he's still playing next to Jalen Hurts, who is a legitimate run threat. And he's playing behind that.
And Trey, mind you,
Miles Sanders Carter in the draft.
Miles Sanders last year went for basically 1,300 rushing yards.
And
he's put Jonathan Taylor back in that backfield. That's a cool 15.
Damn,
Like,
it's a cool.
And that's if they decide to be run heavy because they still got Smitty, Goddard, and AJ Brown. You got to deal with.
G baby,
Like,
they gonna be run heavy regardless. Because even with that, I'm saying all of this. Hey, we're gonna play 11-man football. They're gonna be able to run the ball at will. The other part is like, oh, okay, cool. You want to stack the box and stop that? Cool. We got AJ Brown running this crosser and Devontae Smith running this post. Good luck, son.
but I think the team that needs him the most, though, I think the team who needs him the most has to be the Bills, though. Like they need a running.
They
team.
need that.
Like they need it. Because
it's not just Jonathan Taylor, though, man. It's Jonathan Taylor with that line, bro. It's too much, bro. It's too much, bro.
Okay, and then Trey, you say Buffalo needs Jonathan Taylor. Yes, it would be great to have him.
They need him.
I don't think they need him. I think they need to run. Wait. I think they need to run the ball. I think they actively choose not to run the ball because me personally, I'm not saying James Cook is going to be some all-level on Jonathan Taylor level. If you can get JT, go get him. But they don't even use James Cook, and he's not bad. Like he's not bad.
He's not though. I'm saying though, even though he's not. If you trade a player for JT, you're going to.
You're going to run the ball. You're going to run the ball.
So that's what I'm saying. It's a need, and that can help them tremendously because that's what they lack the most.
To Trent's point, when it comes to the Bills, if they were to get a player like Jonathan Allen, one, that's twofold because one, it keeps you from having to run Josh Allen and just having that complete imbalance on their offense where it's like, oh, okay, cool. We're the fighting Josh Allens instead of the Buffalo Bills. Like your whole offense can't be, hey, when it's time to throw the ball, Josh Allen, you're throwing it. Hey, when it's time to run the ball, Josh Allen, you're running it. Yeah. Like there has to be some level of balance. Also, they play in one of the most miserable places ever. Can you imagine what would happen if they got home field advantage in a playoff game and it is snowing and you got to line up and tackle Jonathan Taylor and it is 22 degrees outside and it's snow raining on you and it like literally everything on you is like bone chilling cold? Fam, you are turning down fades in the fourth quarter. I promise you. Like,
but do you believe in the Bills as a team? You think they're?
I preach.
You know what I mean?
Without Jonathan Taylor, no.
I'm saying like it's like who's baby? You said it's Patrick Mahomes in the field, right?
Yeah.
Like think about it. Are the Bills are in that field, but are they that team? Even with Josh Allen as talented as he is, you think that they're ready to go? I think that what needs to happen over there, Von Miller might be the key to their success.
Well,
it's true.
That is true.
Like if he's dominant, if he can get 18, 19 sacks and the defense bring the rest of the people with him, I think they got a chance, And you're right about home field advantage. Buffalo is a special place to play, man. It really is. From a coaching standpoint and from being a player that went in there and played. If they got it, if they are running on all cylinders, that machine is working, they can do it. But I'm not sure. I don't know if I really believe in them, like even in the sense of them committing to the run or being a running team.
That's fair. But to everyone's point with Patrick Mahomes in the field, the other part of this offseason that has not been talked about nearly enough is the fact that the Chiefs front office is playing chicken right now with the Patrick Mahomes of your defense. Chris Jones is unaccounted for as of right now. And he's on Twitter basically telling people, I can afford to sit out to week 8. I'm not playing with y'all. Y'all gonna give me my bread when I said give me my bread. If they don't have Chris Jones, I get it. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. But if they don't have Chris Jones, they don't win anything.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about
I
that.
kind of disagree.
I'm
not
no,
sure
you
about
guys
that.
are gassing it.
Yeah.
You guys are gassing it. You guys
No,
are gassing
I kind of disagree.
I agree with you, Trey. I agree with you,
Kind of see
Trey.
what Trey's saying because you need Chris Jones in that
I'm
defense.
not
a
I'm
fact.
not necessarily
Yeah.
Wait, just hear
disagreeing
me
with
out.
that.
Hear me out, y'all. Hear me out. Just
I
hear me out.
saw them Eagles
Look,
have no problem scoring the
no,
Chiefs with Chris
look.
Jones there.
Look, I
I saw them have no
I
problem
feel you,
scoring.
baby.
You feel me? And that's who most likely they're gonna have to see.
Their path is significantly harder. Without Chris Jones, their path is
Of
significantly harder.
course.
There's no doubt about that.
Look, all
But
I'm
Patrick
saying,
Mahomes can outscore a lot of teams, bro, is what I'm trying to say.
he can outscore a lot of teams, but that's going to be good to get you into the playoffs and maybe get you a deep run. You win a playoff game or two. But if you are trying to repeat, I'm sorry. The way that team is currently constructed, you have decided there are two people, the way this is going, that you have to pay. You have to pay Patrick Mahomes on the offensive side.
You already did.
On the defensive side. That's what they have picked. They picked their two stalwarts. You paid them, and basically they have said, we are going to find low-level talent, diamonds in the rough, and kind of fill in the gaps around these guys. And that's going to be it. Like,
But I'll be honest with you, bro. If that defense,
huh?
I have a question for you, Trey. Do you think that defense can consistently hold their opponents to anywhere from like 24 to 27 points? If they can do that, they can win games, bro. Mahomes will get you 30 points.
Without Chris Jones, I do not believe they can.
You don't think so without Chris Jones?
I mean, because if Chris Jones is not on that defense, that's a tremendous drop on the team.
So let's walk this out. So let's walk this out, okay? There's an argument that last year Chris Jones was probably the best interior pass rusher in the NFL.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
the thing about that is you got one guy on your team that if you're a coaching staff, I'm like, oh yeah, we need to make sure he don't wreck the game. Everybody else that is playing behind him, literally the other 10 guys, I'm not going to say they're just guys, but they're not guys that scare you. Nick Bolton is a really good player. He does not scare you. George Karlaftis, really good player. He does not scare you. L'Jarius Sneed, really good player. He does not scare you. There is not a single person on that roster outside of Chris Jones that's like, oh, we need to stop this dude.
Yeah, you watch Chris Jones tape, bro. Basically, when you playing them.
He is the table setter for the entire defense.
And I agree with everything that you just said. I don't disagree. Like, yes, you need Chris Jones. I am agreeing with you there. In the same breath, you know, for a little devil's advocate, nothing crazy. I saw that defense get torched with him. I saw that defense get torched with Chris Jones there.
But that's such a bad take.
No,
like
but
that's such a bad take because
but I'm not saying
they got
don't
torched.
Need him.
No, but they got torched by the Eagles. And that's like probably the best team in the league last year outside of the Chiefs, right? So in my head is like that defense is not going to be good enough. It's going to be even worse if Chris Jones wasn't even there. Think about that. It would be even worse than that. And the team scoring 24 to 27 points a game, bro, I'm telling you, it's hard for teams to win if your team is consistently giving up 24 to 27 points a game.
We've seen that the exception is Patrick Mahomes.
G baby.
His defense gives his game on a regular.
No, they don't. Last season, they only gave a 21 a game. So that's just false right there, number one.
Okay, maybe for the course of his career then. Last season, okay, fine. I don't know that off the top of my head.
I don't know.
That's fine, but it's...
You still think they make the Super Bowl without Chris Jones?
That's tough. I don't know.
Is that a question for me?
It's really matchup based. It's really matchup based, honestly. Because, like, for example, because I'm thinking of the teams I think is gonna make it. I think they could still be the majority of teams without Chris Jones, but like, if we're assuming everybody's playing at their best, I don't know if they're gonna be the Jets the way that team looks. I don't like without Chris Jones because that offense and defense is gonna be crazy.
Quentin Williams is gonna just
you know what I mean. So I like it's really matchup based, and if I'm assuming everybody's playing at the potential they should, I think they still can get there. And I'm still taking Mahomes against the field. Do their chances go down? Of course, you're losing a top 10 player, period, in the league. So yes, your chances are naturally gonna go down.
They got to
But do
run
I
that
still-
man his money. That's
Thank
what they got to
They
do.
do got to run that man.
Yeah.
Money. They
That's
do.
So,
what
you know,
I mean,
the prices have changed in this day. You know, they should have tightened him up a couple of years ago. Well, they did, but he done outplayed that contract, man. And
Today's
you know,
price is not
you better
yesterday's
get. Yeah,
price.
it's not. He got to get paid, and I think there's a reluctancy on Kansas City's part because culturally, how they do it, they're gonna pay a couple of guys, and then you know, minimum and the rest of the guys, and then they're counting on coaching and culture. Pat Mahomes sets it. Andy Reid endorses it, and then you know you got the front office and how they operate and how they practice, and that's a big part of it. But they got to pay that guy, man.
So I want to let y'all know something because I think if Chris Jones is sitting out to week 8, they're probably gonna go 4-4. So I'm gonna tell y'all the teams, right?
Bro.
Lions in week 1, Jaguars in week 2, Bears in week 3, Jets in week 4, Vikings in week 5, Broncos in week 6, Chargers in week 7, Broncos in week 8. I think they're
Who's
beating
week
the
5?
Broncos twice.
I think they go 3-1. Their first 4, I think they
Vikings.
go 3-1.
I'm not gonna
think so,
lie. I
actually.
see 2 losses there, Max. I'm not gonna hold you. I see 2
Two losses there,
Max.
Max.
Who are
Max.
they?
Max.
What's the again?
I'm gonna go through, especially against these, because I'm not looking at it from who's gonna slow down Mahomes. I'm talking about because the defense can't affect the offense, and the defense can't get no stops. They keep going on runs. Fucking Mahomes can only do so much. You go up against the Lions, it's gonna be a good offense.
I think
That
they win,
without
though.
Chris Jones, you can think they win, but without Chris Jones, they're gonna be torching that crew. Jaguars, they're gonna be torching that crew. Bears, the Bears is gonna be torching them too. Jets, torching them.
Bears, bro.
What?
With
Yes,
their running back Fields. Come on,
Yes,
man.
they're gonna be torching. They're gonna be torching that
Yes,
team.
with that running back, quote unquote Fields. Yes.
Yes, they are.
Okay, I guess they can be crazy on the run game, but I think though they still gonna beat the Bears so easily. So,
Look,
Easily.
easily.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Easily, man.
The only games I saw
those
there that
teams
I'm
you
worried
listed,
about.
bro, their defenses are not crazy like that, though. Those teams, you
But
listed.
again, it's gonna
the
be
Jets, yeah, but the rest.
But again, it's a shootout. I'm telling y'all, even Patrick Mahomes' record when teams are scoring above 28 points is barely above 500. Like y'all acting as if this dude's
Okay,
y'all acting like this dude could
okay,
sit
so
here
Doug,
and
can I ask you a question?
could sit here and just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a 5-1 record, even though my team's giving up 30 points.
So Doug,
no,
can I
that
ask you a
does that's
question?
not even he does that. Not even he does that.
So can I ask you a question, Doug?
Go ahead.
So out of the teams you named, I'm only going to talk about these quarterbacks: Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence.
You know
Kirk
I don't rank
Cousins.
teams like that.
No.
I don't care
Let
about
me
any
ask
of
my
that.
question. I'm not talking about that. Because the other ones I'm not necessarily worried about. Out of them 4, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, and Trevor Lawrence. If it goes into a shootout, who are you trusting to come out on top?
The better team.
Not a single one.
The better team. I don't look at it like that. So why would you even ask me that question?
Okay, so the
I'm
better
going
team.
with
So
the
the
better
only one I
team.
can give you,
Patrick Mahomes.
maybe,
Patrick
is the
Mahomes
Jets.
is lit. Patrick Mahomes.
Well, you gotta give them the Jets.
Patrick Mahomes is
You
the only
gotta
guy
give him
with
the
a
Jets.
the Patrick Mahomes is the only guy with a winning record with above 28 points and above for teams like when his defense allows 28 points and above. But even he is barely above 500. Like he's not just dominating that. So y'all acting as if he's gonna sit here and still go 5-1 or 8-0 or 8-0.
I wonder what the sample
Like,
size
no,
is on
I
that.
think
It
it's
can't
6
be
and
that
2,
much.
5 and 3 at worst.
Nah, but I will say though, G baby, they need Chris Jones though.
I'm not saying I agreed with y'all in that aspect. I'm just saying if he's not there, we
If he's
looked at
not
the
there,
first
I don't
8
think they go-
games. I still
I don't
see
think they
6
go to
and
the Super
2,
Bowl.
5 and 3 at worst.
this is
I mean,
this,
yeah, but I think we're
Super Bowl, I can get with you,
Bro, if they could avoid the Jets, bro, without Chris Jones, and this is gonna sound crazy, if they could somehow avoid the Jets, bro, in the playoffs, bro, I would not be surprised if they made it without Chris Jones. I know that sounds crazy. I don't. Do I think it's gonna happen, bro? That's a different conversation.
Y'all off the Bengals
Would I
train
be
now?
surprised if it happened, huh?
I'm
Y'all
not.
off the Bengals
I've been saying I
I'm
don't
just
think
making
the-
sure. I'm asking,
because
are y'all off the
I'm
Bengals
not a fan of their defense. I don't like it. I think it's gotten worse. I still like Logan Wilson, Trey Hendrickson, DJ Reader. I like them, but I'm not. Their defense was cool. It wasn't nothing crazy, and I think it's gotten worse. I don't like their secondary right
there's not a
now.
lot of crazy defenses in the NFL.
I know,
bro.
but I'm just saying,
Like,
like,
yeah,
at least
yeah,
their
I'm just
defense
saying
was
that.
playing solid. I feel like it's going to take a step back. I think the offense is going to be the same because as long as them three there, as long as that three-headed monster of Chase Higgins and Burrow back there, they gonna win 10 games. Their offense is gonna be fine. I just think playoff time, their defense is going to get shredded by a lot more teams in the AFC now. Not just
But here's the thing,
Mahomes.
though,
Like, I think they're
here's the
gonna get
thing,
cooked a
though.
lot.
But that's been the Bengals since they made the Super Bowl. The defense wasn't that good, and then they stepped up.
But no,
Mahomes now he's gonna get shredded.
Yeah,
That's a good
but their
point.
defense has
Right.
always stepped up in the like second half of the season. They've always picked it up. I don't think they're going to do that for a third straight year. I don't think they have the personnel to do that for a third straight year. I just don't. I think their defense is going to be like in the 20s.
So yeah, I don't think
right?
it's possible. So like they could step up collectively as a unit without Chris Jones.
I think they can still step up again. They can do it again.
I think Chris Jones is that impactful, bro. He just, especially a guy who can sit here and affect the passing game because of like we talk about Trey being the best. What the fuck you said?
Interior,
best interior.
Interior, yeah, whatever.
Interior pass rusher, dumb.
Interior pass rusher. I mean, bro, that sets the table for a lot of things in which they have going on. You're missing that, and now, I mean, bro, that they relied on that. And I just checked the record for everybody. Patrick Mahomes is 50-5 when the team scores less than 28 points. So I just did the math. That means he's 14-11 when teams are scoring above 28 points. Like I said, he's barely above 500. So don't bank on this like the Chiefs are just gonna sit here and be winning games when their defense is just giving up points. That just doesn't happen, bro.
I think with the teams you said, I don't think every single one of them teams are scoring over 28 in that sense. I still think they're going 6-2. 5-3 at worst.
Let me ask you this. So say Chris Jones sits out, whatever. Do you think Mahomes like have like a 2020 year where like he will have like a stretch of games where he's struggling? And like the Chiefs don't look as good as people think. I'm just asking,
I think it could be, but I'll never bet on it though. Like it could happen, but I never bet on it because Mahomes is just, bro, he's an offensive maniac. But I'll never bet on him like struggling like that. But I do think the wins and losses, people will be like, oh, Mahomes is struggling right now. But no, just because his team is winning or losing, I don't think he'll be struggling like that. But I do think the team isn't going to win games like they're used to.
And also, let me ask Coach Brown this because we've been asking all of our guests on the shows this one specific question. I ask you this, Coach Brown. Is winning a quarterback stat?
You know what he's going to say.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh.
I think it is. I think Trenton, the way that guy touches the football, because he's making decisions with that ball. Everybody's trusting him to do the right thing with that ball, whether put it in the belly of the running back or throw it to the receivers or not throw it to the defense. And that impacts winning. That's the reason you see the people you guys were mentioning, even Patrick Mahomes and the teams that are playing. You guys went through the quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, those guys, all those guys. We all speak of those guys, and they impact winning. You're not going to be a good quarterback based on just being average. You got to bring some wins to the table, and that makes a difference, man. Who else? Like, give me a winning quarterback. Don't give me a guy that can throw good footballs. I want the guy to win games.
Okay, so Coach Brown. With that being said, Coach Brown,
he's about to play devil's advocate.
I'm about to be devil's advocate.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Who would you rather have as your starting quarterback, Justin Herbert or Jimmy G?
That's nasty.
Talent. Like I'm thinking Herbert is going to be the better quarterback. Now I'm putting my scout hat on. Yeah. Like I like his game. I like his. I like how he put the numbers. I was a skeptic of his. I thought he was kind of like another one of those Oregon guys. Who was that? Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
He ain't really it, but he a lone guy. I was like, man, I don't know if he but yeah, he nice. Like the quarterback game, nice in the NFL, man. There's some dudes.
I hear you. I just want to clarify. I obviously think Herbert is better than Jimmy G. The reason why me and Trent don't believe winning as a quarterback stat is because there's too many times we've seen in history where a guy like Jimmy G, and even though I bring it up to troll, he's got a 70% win percentage. But we all know the team that he has around him. I mean, we just saw it with Brock Purdy. Hey, you pretty much stick any regular schmegular guy down there with all the weapons, you gonna get to the playoffs. You gonna win you a playoff game. So that's why we feel you okay. But that's why I asked you, Coach Brown, because
hey, so hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. It's like guys will see me, man. You look like you can play football, man. I ain't feeling to disrespect the game like that because when you can't get no guy to come off the couch and do what these guys do. Now, Brock Purdy is a beautiful story, last man pick, but he started a whole lot of games at Iowa State with the folks cheering in the stands where he got some reps. Y'all know the story of David and Goliath, right?
Yeah.
Like David was killing bears and lions before he killed Goliath. So, Brock got some reps, man, at winning, and then all of a sudden he got opportunity. Now that he got opportunity, bro, because he can fall back on, man, I used to be over there at Iowa State, man. I beat Iowa. I beat Kansas State. You know what I'm saying? They supposed to be big, Now I'm just in the 49ers. He was able to find his space, like get into a groove, because when he got in there and got that job, that boy was spinning that thing. Did nobody say Mr. Irrelevant? The guy was prepared for his opportunity. Like they coached him right. And you see now he's holding the #1 draft pick at bay for the job. So it's not a fluke, man. So you got to get reps. I think, yeah, man, give me a David that's been practicing, man, and got some reps in. And I'm going to let him slay Goliath. Yeah, I think winning, the quarterback wins, man. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Go ahead, Trent. Go ahead, Trent.
I think we was about to ask the same question. I mean, I was going to say, speak on the 49ers. How do you feel about the Trey Lance situation?
Well, he ain't got no opportunity. Hey, Brock did the right thing, man. You get in there, get that job, keep it. Like Brock probably got side deals now because he's the starting quarterback. His girlfriend looks better. He probably get a free, he gonna get a car deal out of this. Like, man, I'm gonna ball until they tap me to come out of there, but he doing the right thing, man. Don't let nobody get that. Like you get hurt, man. I'm gonna get in there and get that job. That's how I went on the field, man. A guy got hurt. I went in and I played guard. And I was like, man, this is my opportunity. Man, I got in the lineup, man, and that was it. Like, the dude had to go to the other side because now I'm in there, man. Like, that's what you have to do. And then that's pro sports. You competing not only against your opponent, but you competing to get in there, to get the job, to be the guy. And, there are backup jobs, and they are credible. But that quarterback position, man, I like what Brock is doing, man. He's keeping that dude at bay. He's making the folks that pick the players kind of got them on edge because now he's keeping a #1 draft pick. Hey, man, I'm the last guy picked, and this guy was picked in the first round, got pretty good guaranteed money. But now, he's messed up the system, the ecosystem. Like, hey, man, I got the job. Like, and that's how he plays. He looks like he belongs in there. And then the guys are for him. The guys up front, the guys who catch it. You don't ever hear Debo there, man, Brock throw a bad ball. Ain't nobody whining that he ain't throwing it to him. He done got in there and won him over, man. I'm impressed.
But coach, do you think the 49ers, being that Trey Lance was a first-round pick, do you think they gave him ample opportunity to show us what he's capable of? Because I'm torn on that. I don't know that he got enough of a shot. And when I say enough of a shot, I'm talking about in real life games that actually matter in the regular season. What are your thoughts on that?
You're right. Opportunity. That's what I'm saying. He didn't get the opportunity. Brock took advantage of his opportunity. Now all of a sudden, well, can we get Trey a look? No, man. Brock saying, man, I'm spinning this thing, man. I'm the guy. I look like the guy. And then the price at which they got him, you know, they can kind of extend him a little confidence because it's probably a $450,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 investment. You know, it's not that big money. So, you know, they can ride it out, pay him, and keep Trey Lance on the roster. But at some point, you know, Trey Lance is going to want to play. And then, you know, they brought Sam Darnold in there. So, you know, they might be creating a situation where they add value to Trey Lance being a trade piece.
And well, Coach, that's what I wanted to kind of speak on because you talked about competition, and even though because when he first got drafted, you know, there was a report that came out. Don't know how true it is, but it was swirling around that players had went to Kyle Shanahan and was like, Jimmy G's our guy. Jimmy G plays that year. Then the next year, you know, Trey Lance is supposed to come in. Gets that fortune. The way I feel about it, like
G lagging. Do it again.
You are. Sounds better now. Go ahead, keep talking.
Am I good now? Because I thought it was.
Yeah, try to.
It was fine on my end.
Yeah, say it again.
All right. We good there. We good, right? We straight.
Yeah, we sure. You have.
Go ahead.
All right. So I felt like you saw they got to see him in practice for basically 2.5 years. Now, Sam Darnold, we've seen what he's done with his opportunity. Hasn't been great. We, you know, wasn't in the best of situations. I'll agree with that, but hasn't been great. The fact that you couldn't beat out him for the starting job, they had you in practice. You knew the system. Sam Darnold didn't know it. Sam Darnold was the newbie coming in. And the fact that you couldn't beat him out in the training camp and the OTAs, to me, the way I feel about it, you didn't get the opportunity. These coaches are all watching him. And they don't even feel he can be better.
He's lagging. I think we got the gist of it.
We got the gist.
Well, Darnold's coming from a system that's similar. You know, it's West Coast based, and then he wasn't bad at Carolina. You know, he held his own, man. The jet stays, and that's how quarterbacks are, man. You know, he's gonna hang on until they tell him, "Hey, man, you got to go." But he has the ability to come in and start games, and now you get into the space of, okay, what's the value of these pieces on my team? You know, they may bring in another pass rusher because Bosa's out, and now you got a quarterback that can bring you in a good pass rusher or a couple of bodies to add some depth to the defense. I like who they are on the defensive side. I like Steve Wilkes being out there. I think he's going to bring a real element to the team that might get them over the hump and get them back into the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, I'm about to ask you something crazy, but I don't feel like I want to. I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Do it, Dub.
Sam Darnold or Ryan Tannehill?
Oh my God.
Oh. Give me Darnold. Give me Darnold.
Talk about it.
Give me Darnold.
Talk about it. I told y'all.
I look here. No disrespect, baby. But like I like what Tannehill did in Tennessee, but I think Darnold has a little more juice. That's just a choice. Like I look, baby. I can ride with you on Tannehill. I ain't hating.
I feel you. It's just out.
Yeah, I like it. Like I like your choice. I like my choice. You know, but we both eat fruit.
I'm with you, Coach. I'm with you. It's just we just agreed to disagree. I think Sam Darnold is like
look
bad. I think he's
off of the Trey Lance.
I like him, man. I ain't gonna even. You know what it is, baby. I'm hopeful. You know, like I'm betting on the come, man. I think this might be the time. Like he back in California. He played at USC. You know, I'm trying to add all that stuff up.
You like Justin Fields? How you feel about Justin Fields since you like being hopeful?
Well, I didn't say I was hopeful for Justin Fields. Like I like him, but here's the deal, OJ. I don't believe in what they're doing in Chicago.
Dang.
Like that. Yeah, I don't like. I like to pick up from Carolina, the receiver, but is this guy? Is he really that type of guy?
He's not.
Or you know what I mean? Is he a Midwest Ohio State zone read guy? I don't think he's Cam Newton. Like we had Cam Newton in Carolina.
I don't think he's a lot of people.
Cam could flat spin the rock. Mm-hmm. Now, I think what Justin Fields is going to need, he's going to need a seam threat, a tight end that gets up the middle of the field that helps him on the outside. I think a flat receiver, a good fullback, you know, somebody that works the flat because he throws those routes. Yeah, you know, the throws that he can, like he's got to throw the ball to guys who are playmakers in the area that he's strong at throwing the football. I don't think you're going to be a vertical guy.
You don't like Cole Kmet? You don't like Cole Kmet? I don't think he's bad. I'd like him.
He all right, Dub. Okay, but you know he's 6'7", he long, man.
I'm gonna tell you what you told G baby. I'm not hating on it, but
look, they need something like a Greg Olsen, man, or Jimmy Graham when he was hot, you know, back like that. They need something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So with that being said, you said how you feel about Justin Fields. How you feel about Daniel Jones? You hopeful for him?
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming, man.
Hey, Daniel went in with the ski mask on. I am knocking it. He had his name on the front of his jersey, he had on the ski mask, and he got the bag. He got the bag. Now he got to deal with that pressure in New York. I like Daniel Jones. Like I'm a fan because I just like him coming out of Duke and how he did it. Like he bet on himself. Like they had to pay him because they were afraid to go somewhere else and pay somebody else because they knew what they had in the building. It was like, okay, we got to add a few pieces. I like the tight end addition. Like, yeah, like that's what my man Fields needs in Chicago. Because this boy with the Giants, he gonna be nice, man. Like he can do it, man. And then they got a little something. Saquon is the truth. Yeah, I got a chance to see him out here at Exos, man, and they're joking on these running backs because he's just a playmaker, man. And I hope he goes out and proves it to everybody, man. I hope he has an MVP season from the running back spot.
I was just having a debate about somebody with this, right? And I said, listen, because I use G Baby and Trent's reasonings because it's kind of similar, right? Christian McCaffrey's getting paid $16 million this year, right? There is no reason. If we're going to talk about health with Saquon, and that's why he shouldn't be getting paid, CMC shouldn't have gotten $16 million as well. So off of my train of thought, Saquon Barkley, bare minimum, $14 million. Bare minimum. And it's sad how they doing him right now. And I hope that next season, because this is basically a contract year for him again. So this season, after he solidifies himself again, which is sad that he just needs to do that and CMC didn't, but I don't want to say no shit. But
well, CMC got I think how he was used offensively helped him garner the bag. Like they put him in the slot. They ran him. They played him out. They were very intentional in him getting those 90 or something catches that he got as a slot receiver. And then they put him in the back to get the rushes. So now all of a sudden, you know, he's the highlight of the organization. And then they got to pay him. It's, you know, he's being paid as a franchise player right after Cam.
And you don't think that they should? You don't think the Giants should do that with Saquon as well? Because he's the franchise guy.
Oh, I agree with you, but they using this running back algorithm and said, hey, man, this guy might get hurt because he runs. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, yeah. Because I think he's a $14 million guy too. I think he gets the money, man. It's like what's the kid? Darren McFadden came out of Darren McFadden's draft year. I thought he was just the best player in the draft, period. I don't know what year he got drafted, but he was the best football player in the draft to me. But that's to me, Saquon Barkley is just the best player, man. Pay the best player.
Especially when Bijan, who ain't played a snap in the NFL, ain't played a single snap, already getting paid more than everybody.
How much he get paid right now?
He got 15 million.
Yeah, 15 something, 15 million.
He's the highest. That's right. This year, he's the highest paid.
Highest paid.
It's your draft year. It's timing, man. You know, you can't hate on nobody's money, man. But you better go get your bag, man. Like,
hey, and that's how I feel about money, Daniel Jones.
Is that
right?
He getting 41 mil guaranteed.
G baby, he got it.
I ain't gonna hate on him because he got his money. Please, if I was in the spot, I'm getting my 41 mil guaranteed too. What you mean?
Me too. I'll be throwing that thing left-handed, right-handed, underhanded, overhanded, any way I can.
Whatever I gotta do to keep that money.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, and that's the beauty of the game, man. The game is in good hands. People are making money, man. It's healthy. You know, you hope guys just take advantage of the climate, man. I'm impressed, man. Get your money, man. Like, yeah, because the team's getting paid.
I'm glad you brought up Bijan because that's going to transition me to the title of the video, right? Oh, man. Are y'all ready for some of these NFL rookies outside of Bijan? Because I think Bijan will be good. Outside of Bijan, are y'all ready for some of these rookies to really put the world on fire? Starting with Jahmyr Gibbs and Sir Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson, no.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson.
I want to see Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson's going to take a minute. And that, especially now that Jonathan Taylor's gone. It's pretty much he get packed up.
Oh, that's a good point.
Especially now that JT is gone and he doesn't. I'm not going to lie. Who's the backup? Because didn't Nyheim Hines get traded or shipped out or hurt?
He got hit with a jet ski, literally. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, like, who's their starting running back?
Who knows at this point?
Yeah, so my point is like I'm sorry, Trey. I know we talk about this all the time. Hey, I hope Jonathan Mingo not Jonathan Mingo.
Josh Downs.
Yeah, Josh Downs. I hope he pan out. But Michael Pittman Jr.
Good.
I'm not saying I'm just saying like Michael Pittman Jr. and the rest of that core ain't.
I'll say this now, but there's gonna be a lot of pressure on Anthony since he don't have Jonathan because you don't have Jonathan. Jonathan brings a lot of attention. So all the play actions, but I think he can still be at least okay as a passer. You be dragging the G baby OD, and you know you do. So I think he can have a okay year because we all know coming off the gate, he's one of the best rushing quarterbacks in this league. He's gonna tote the pill. So all we gotta say is him passing the ball.
Hey, OJ, you know who you gonna remind you of?
He gonna say Justin Fields.
Justin Fields,
my favorite running back.
He gonna say Justin
OJ,
Fields.
you hard on Justin Fields.
I am, man. But I will say this though. Back to Jonathan Richardson. To me, man, when I look at his weapons, who are we talking about, bro? Michael Pittman Jr. I mean,
if Josh Downs doesn't pan out, it's gonna be bad for him because I don't think Michael Pittman. I think.
But yeah, I'm Coach. I'm really down on Justin Fields, man. And I hate it, bro. It burdens me. But
probably the only person on the panel who is not nearly as down.
Not Dub too.
I'm with you.
But do you love the Bears? You like you want them to do it?
I believe.
Yeah, OJ. Do you believe in the Bears?
No, not at all.
Philosophy of 8-man football, and I think
in my lifetime, the Bears have never figured out the quarterback position.
For him,
I feel you.
Because best year they got carried by a kick returner. So, like I know it's Devin Hester.
And to be honest with you, the Bears have lost their identity, man. I've been watching football since the late 90s. They used to build teams around defense, and then you could throw in Rex Grossman, whatever. But now they've completely lost their identity. It's whatever now. You don't even know what they're trying to do like these days. So
they're trying to move to the suburbs. They're becoming something else.
After Mitch Trubisky and Khalil Mack and everybody, I mean, they just
Good
been
call,
getting they've been getting bust after bust. So now, I mean, you got to work with what you got. It's not like they're not trying. They are trying, but just guys are just not panning out.
They're having to rebuild the team. Look, I'm not going to turn this into a Justin Fields thing because he's not a rookie. We were supposed to be talking about the rookies. All I'm going to say is I think you're going to see a much more improved Justin Fields this year. And if you don't, cool. I'll be the first one to tell you, no, pack it up.
Facts.
Facts.
Hold on, Trey. Let me just real quick, and I don't want to belabor the point. What is your justification for that? Is it simply a much improved roster in the offseason?
Okay, so it's a combination of things. It's the combination of the improved roster. Now, I will say them having Darnell Wright go down with an injury.
You got hurt?
Apparently,
Darnell Mooney or Darnell Wright?
Darnell Wright. They left tackle that they just drafted. The right tackle.
Right tackle.
Oh, wow.
Well, like I don't. Last time I checked, I didn't know the severity, so I don't know if it's going to be an extended thing for them. I hope not.
That's huge.
What I will say is this: if you go watch his rookie year and you go watch last year, his rookie year he developed a lot of bad habits. He needed a lot of work coming out of college, just in general, and the previous staff did him no favors. So his second year, if you watch him on film, it's not great in the pocket. Me and Trent literally sat there and watched all of it, and there are plenty of times he's running out of a clean pocket, quite frankly, because he's still seeing ghosts from last year when he was getting bopped upside the head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the combination of they invested in the offensive line, they invested a little more in the running game, they invested in the wide receivers, so now you don't get to stack the box and just send the house at them all the time. Like it's a little bit more. Plus, there were flashes at the end of the season where you saw him like, oh, okay, cool. They're coaching some of these bad habits out of him. He's kind of hanging in there when he needs to, and he is tossing it. Like, cool. The intermediate stuff, the short stuff, yes, he still needs to work on it. He's still a little erratic. But when you're talking about somebody who is a big play threat, like if we give Josh Allen all the grace in the world for him being a high variance player who still doesn't do well in the short to intermediate, but we take it because he is a absolute threat stretching the field. If you put Justin Fields in a situation where he can actually stretch the field off play action, and he can damn near do it by himself because he ran for 1,100 yards last year. He is literally one-man play action. If you can stretch the field vertically off of that, and you got Chase Claypool as your third receiver, basically, because your 1 and 2 are DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney, you can work with that.
That's very fair, and that's very reasonable.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I'm not saying he's gonna come out here and throw for 5K, but when he said that he could throw for 4,000 yards, I didn't think it was that crazy.
I think he can. I think he can.
Do I think he's going to get there? Probably.
I think like 38, 37.
I was about to say he'll probably get 38 because he's probably gonna run for a K again.
Yeah, he's gonna run.
He's gonna run for a K again.
The greatest QB runners we ever seen.
And throws 4,000 yards. Hey, bro, we having a whole different conversation. But
that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. But I think he'll be okay. When we slide back to the rookies, there was a name that you brought up because I'm not going to do the Anthony Richardson thing. We've already discussed it. Like that's my dog. We gonna ride with that.
I'm riding with him. Pause.
That's crazy.
I'm riding with him too, though.
That's crazy. But anyway, the name that I want to talk about is Jahmyr Gibbs. That's the name I want to talk about because I specifically remember not anybody from here, but just people around me and the discourse specifically with the Lions draft in the first round. There was a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, why would you take a running back in the first round?
It didn't matter. Shut up.
Analytics, shut up. All you pencil pushers, push your pencil where the sun don't shine as far as I'm concerned.
Y'all being nasty, but I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm not being nasty. I'm being honest.
It was you, G baby, wasn't it? It was you.
Hey, it was you. Because I said no. Because wait. You know what, Trey? I was gonna let you finish, but no.
I forgot it was
my
G
problem.
baby.
Yes, because here was my problem. It wasn't that Jahmyr Gibbs was a bad
Jalen Carter was on that board.
But Jalen Carter was on the board.
Carter was on that board.
Jalen Carter was on the board, and what was their big problem last year? Their defense.
Okay.
They just traded for David Montgomery. So I'm like, man, you get Jalen Carter right there to help that defense. And that's what was they literally let everybody from 5 to 9 literally let Jalen Carter fall to.
And Jalen Carter's a problem, Trey. He's about to be a problem.
Yes, I know he's about to be a problem. I know he's about to be a problem. But let's be real honest about the whole Jalen Carter conversation. The reason why he went to where he went is because that was the only place that felt comfortable enough to take him there. We have to stop sitting here and acting like Jalen Carter fell because people just decided we don't know if that dude's good at football. We all know Jalen Carter is really damn good at football. I have said himself, homie is like this close in terms of potential to being like Kevin Williams, like who should be in the Hall of Fame. Like,
yes,
I'm counting on that man to literally become a Hall of Famer. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is this: he fell in the draft because he had some things that happened with him while he was in college that literally led to 2 people dying. Like, let's not lose sight of that.
And the one team that had the freedom to take that risk was the Eagles, because we literally didn't need anything, and we're like, all right, Jalen Carter,
y'all didn't need anything, and y'all been drafting all of his homies for the last 2 years.
It's literally been
the only people that might be able to keep him in check. Yeah, like, yes, I get it. The rich get richer when Jalen Carter goes to the Eagles. However, that's the only place where he could have gone where people will probably feel comfortable about that situation not imploding. So let's not do that. It's not fair to anybody else, because we also have to take into account we don't know what else that was found out about Jalen Carter throughout that pre-draft process. We all know like the public stories, but we also know there's a lot of other stuff that we don't know behind the scenes. So cool. If he turns out to be a Hall of Famer and the rich get richer, well, shout out to Howie Roseman and them for being able to take a chance. But that's not on the rest of the league. The reason why I got so annoyed with people trying to bag on the Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs, one, if we want to talk about positional value in the draft and like, oh, well, this guy should be higher on the board, blah, blah, blah. One, I don't believe in that. You take the best player, like you take the best football player, point blank, period. I don't care what his position is. Secondly, if you're looking at that draft, if you're in need of a playmaker, somebody who is elite in space, like somebody who's going to make your offense easier to function with because you do not have a dynamic quarterback, i.e. Jared Goff, like you need other people around you that are going to be dynamic. So who would you have rather them take in that slot? A guy like Jahmyr Gibbs or a guy like Quentin Johnston, who I was not nearly as high on when it comes to who's the better player. I'm definitely taking.
After they didn't get Jalen Carter, yeah, fine, take Jahmyr Gibbs. My only problem was Jalen Carter. That's it. Because and Dub, I'm actually going to use something Dub told me leading up to that draft. Yes, he had some off the field issues. We know what it led to. We know what we saw. But Dub made a great point that I couldn't argue, because in the history of the league, if your talent is viewed that high, more people are going to be willing to take a chance when you have that much talent and potential, depending on what you did. And so I like, especially because if I'm not mistaken, I think Jalen Carter, like he ain't been charged with nothing. He was just like kind of wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. Like you was involved, but we don't know. We don't know everything that happened, obviously. We only know what they released to us. But that was my thing. I'm like, bro, because honestly, I think the Lions were kind of sitting there, and I didn't think they expected Jalen Carter to fall to them. And then he did, but they still went with their original plan.
I don't even know if that's the case, because I'm gonna bring up a point to you, G.
Seahawks passed on first.
My rebuttal to you is this. So there was a case a few years back, and I'm sure you'll remember this. Lyle Collins, coming out of LSU, was slated to be a first-round pick. Literally, the week of him getting drafted, he was named as a person of interest in, I want to say, the murder of like his girlfriend or former woman he was seeing at the time. Now, they found out that he had absolutely nothing to do with it. wasn't even near the situation. They just named him as a person of interest because she was one of the last people that she had spoken to before she had passed. Because of that, like one incident alone, he went undrafted. He went from being a guy who was going to get drafted in the first round to going completely undrafted. The fact that Jalen Carter was involved in something that ended up with two people losing their lives and he was still drafted in the top 10, like, I get where you're coming from, but also that kind of tells you how the rest of the league viewed him. Like, usually when you are involved in something that, like, is involved in a loss of life, yeah, people are like, nope.
Yeah, but at the same time, bro, what are we saying? Are we saying the Eagles had intel that nobody else did?
No, what I'm saying is this. You have a veteran locker room with Fletcher Cox at the helm and Brandon Graham. And then on top of that, you have people who are close to him in Jordan Davis. You draft Nolan Smith. You had Nakobe Dean. These guys who were leaders on that he played with in college. People that more than likely were kind of in charge of making sure that the talented wild child stayed on the straight and narrow, or at the very least tried to stay as straight and narrow as possible. So
I don't know, man. If once a killer, always a killer, the way I see it, bro. So
that's crazy.
That's crazy. Crazy choice of words. However,
that's a terrible choice.
It's hyperbole. I don't think he did anything wrong. But my whole thing is like, bro, your character was your character. I hear what you're saying, but ultimately, I don't know, man. I don't think it's a strong argument. I still think the Lions should have. I think teams knew the situation. I think they know the details. I don't think the Eagles know any more than any other teams. And they should have selected him, bro.
Well, some buildings can't take that on, OJ. You know,
okay.
like Trey said, you know, those guys in Philly have some familiarity to them. And you're right too, OJ. Like there's some intel. When Leo Collins' deal went down, that was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Like that investigation side, probably piece wasn't there, you know, to get that type of information. I think the information, the talent, and the ability to have stability in the locker room and people in place that can ease this young man's transition. I don't think Detroit's built to take that on. You know, they're kind of in a win now phase. It's a happy time there in Detroit. You know,
so
it looks like they're going to be
afford to take that risk.
Yeah. Okay. Even with the people, in the building, you know, that there's stability in those guys. Brandon Graham that can offer some real strong advice and some real strong guidance. Like I know my time in Detroit, I played in Detroit because I was an older guy, and they needed me to set an example for Stockard, McDougal, and the rest of the young players. Now, I set the example, but I also had to go play. So if I couldn't play and set the example, then it's going to be mute. Like Brandon Graham can still play. Fletcher Cox can still play. But they also offer a firm voice, and the fact that he has those Georgia teammates there in Philadelphia, it's going to lend itself to him blending in a little better. He's going to have some eyes on him. But because the young man can't make a mistake, the one thing we got to acknowledge now, what he did is he's put his whole freedom in jeopardy. So he's going to, what's the talent quotient here? How big of an asshole is he? And then how talented is he? Like, that's a real thing, you know. People are making those business decisions, and then this is out in front of everybody. We see it. We're football people. We wonder, like, wow, man, y'all gonna take a chance on that? So, you know, they're saying it to the ticket holders. They're saying it to the league. But he's gonna have to do the right thing for this to pan out.
I heard you say how big of an asshole he was, so I assumed you were talking about me. So I figured I'd jump on.
No. Bigger asshole is Jalen Carter.
But Dell, you got any underrated rookies that you think that's gonna break out? I do. Y'all gonna call it bias.
Go ahead.
I mean, I have.
You better not say
about
Tank.
Tank Dell?
You
You
better
talking
not
about
say
No, I
Tank.
mean, no, because look.
I'm not saying Dell. Tank Dell was
I've been
nice.
saying
I'm
this
not gonna hold
I've been
you.
saying this since last year, G baby. Even though because I know I'm.
Oh wait, you talking about Tank?
Yes, because that's my
Oh, okay,
team.
cool. Go on.
Yeah, because I'm talking about Tank. Because I even told Trey, I told you when it happens, he's going to be the wide receiver 1 on the Texans, and it's starting to look like it's going to happen. So I'm not, but he's not going to get. But Tank Dell's going to be nice, but he's not going to be talked about as much because he's going to be playing for the Texans. I think that's just going to be the issue. But I think like a player that's really going to break out though, I think that kind of needs to for Lamar got to be Zay Flowers. Because I can't like I love Odell, it's my guy, but I can't trust his injury past, bro. Like I think we'll need somebody who could be a consistent number 1 who can really step up and be there. And I think he's probably playing slot a lot. And that's going to open up for Mark Andrews, Lamar himself, even Odell, bro. Zay Flowers is the truth though. So I mean, I think that's my one real breakout because Zay Flowers can really be doing something in this league.
Zay Flowers is a good one. Anybody else got any rookies to talk about?
I like the number 1 pick. I like Bryce Young. I'm curious because of
Panthers, yes, sir.
Yeah, like his stature, like is he really the truth? You know, like I'm curious about that. I want to see him. I want to see him produce. Like I want to see him do it, man.
Well, Coach Brown, let me ask you this: do you think that? Let me see, because I'm glad you said the Panthers. I'm glad you said the Panthers. Do you think that the Panthers can win the NFC South this year?
No, I think I think they can challenge for it just because of how competitive that league is. Like, I like the fact that them 2-hour flights to everybody's home field, that makes it real competitive because you can kick somebody's ass and then fly home and go to sleep in your bed, man. So those guys are going to
win the division though.
It's a toss-up, man. I think New Orleans might have a chance.
If you had to put money on it today.
I'm not a gambler. I'm gonna eat at the casino. I ain't gonna spend no money.
Nice.
That's right, Coach. I'm right there with you.
Eat and drink.
Yeah.
Yes,
Give me that food and the shows. Yeah, y'all
Word.
can
Do
have
that.
that.
I like Jordan Addison, man. I think he's in a unique position. He's gonna play alongside arguably the best receiver in the league. That's gonna open up a lot of opportunities for him. And I think he's kind of going under the radar as well. So I don't know if he'll win offensive rookie year or anything like that, but I don't think enough people are talking about it. I think he's gonna have a great rookie year.
Yeah.
Did you guys already talk about Quentin? I think it's Richardson.
Yeah, we
talked about him already.
briefly. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Quentin Johnston?
Wait,
Fluent, they're doing your team dirty, bro. I'm trying to kick
the
your
wide
team,
receiver in
bro.
LA. The wide receiver in LA. Did I get his name wrong?
Quentin Johnson.
Because
Okay.
he's you talked about him because he's in a good position.
He is.
Yeah, he's in a wonderful position.
He's in a
He is a very interesting case for me because one of the thing that always bothered me when I was watching him coming out of college is that he is a very large receiver who does not play large. Usually when you see a guy who's 6'3" plus and can jump like that and move like that, you're assuming his game is going to be, okay, cool. We get you in the red zone. We're going to throw you 50-50 balls. And this is going to be your game. If you looked at him without watching any tape, you would think he's Mike Will plus. Like he's Mike Will with more juice, something like that. He plays completely opposite of that. He is not in college, he wasn't a great 50-50 ball guy. But what he was good at is he would catch the ball and he could take a 5-yard slant or a little 10-yard curl, and he could take it to the house. So
Which is why he's better than Mike Will off the rip.
He's
and that's the thing. If Justin Rivers is who everybody says he is,
Justin Rivers is so crazy, bro.
Right? We know there's some things.
Justin Rivers is nuts.
Something with Keenan, right? Keenan's getting a little bit older. Mike Will, everybody's picking up. So he has a perfect opportunity to go in there and get a bunch of targets.
What I will say is this: coming into camp, I've seen obviously clips are like training camp clips are clips. So it's not the end all be all, but seeing him in red zone drills, like people throwing him fades and him going up to high point the ball consistently and winning against some of their corners, that's an encouraging sign. I don't know if he's going to consistently do it in games, but I think it's very very interesting.
Yes, Quentin.
Mike Will did it for years, and he don't even run routes. Quentin Johnson will be
That
fine.
name late, and I got a name wrong.
Quentin Johnson will be
He's definitely got
fine.
opportunity. He's definitely got an opportunity.
I can't wait till Mike Will go to like wide receiver 3, 4.
I
can't wait.
I was about to say, get that head out your heart, dog. Get that head out your heart. Look,
I just know Dub confirmed it for me.
Confirm
That's all I
what?
gotta say about Mike Will.
Oh yeah. When what he does at practice.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I'm
don't
good.
do nothing at practice. He just want to catch jump balls all day. Bro, Washington childish as fuck. Kicker out here throwing up L's for being in the backup roster in a preseason game. Keep that energy come regular season.
You know why? It was because of the dude, the left tackle used to play for Texas. I forget his name, like Sam something. Because he was like, I don't know why people. Yeah, he was like, I don't know why people talk about the streaks in the preseason. We're gonna beat it, and then they beat it. But like, bro, it's preseason. Bro. You throwing up L's, bro? Like,
okay, but wait.
I get it. It's
Some of
competitive.
these guys aren't gonna get to play in the regular season.
I think he's a starter though.
No, but it's still you have to get something to motivate you because it's the preseason. And for some of them, maybe not him, but for some of them, this is their only shot to play. Why not have fun, man? Go ahead. We just did a parents versus kids baseball game, and when I hit the ball, you're damn right I was high step into first base. You're damn right I was.
You skipping the first base?
Kids, yes.
Yo, Fluent, that's crazy, bro. That reminds me of a Seinfeld episode where Kramer was beating up some 10-year-old.
Yes.
Hey, you gotta teach these kids that life isn't gonna
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you.
When
my brother was growing up, I would beat them all the time or whatever they was at.
Yeah, like ain't no freebies over here. You gotta work for this.
That's right. Take it easy on them. Hell no, I'm charging home plate. You better hold up.
Now, when this 95 mile per hour heat seeker come at the plate, I don't care what you got.
Canada probably don't have DCF. You charging at home plate, man. That's crazy.
Oh, bro. What was it gonna get into? Oh yeah, for the next topic that we'll get into, let's look at the NFC North. Right, we got the. Let me double check. Yeah, we got the Lions, we got the Packers, we have the Bears, and who's the last team?
Vikings.
Vikings.
And that should tell you everything you need to know. The fact that you forgot they were in that division. That should tell you everything you need to know.
So, number one, I haven't been paying attention to the Vikings at all throughout the whole preseason because I don't like the team at all. I don't like the team like that. I think they're not going to be what they were last season. And they were winning games on the skin of their teeth, bro. So, the Vikings, I'm not sold on them at all. I'm not sold on what they got. The Bears, though, y'all disrespecting the Bears. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm buying.
Look at the division, but Doug, look at the division, bro. Look at who's in that division, bro.
No one.
Like
no one.
Well, Lions are the best.
We're talking about Goff, a running back, and then who else? Who am I missing?
Goff
Kirk
is a running
Cousins,
back. Goff is
white Dak
Cousins.
Prescott. Kirk Cousins, who's the white Dak
and
Prescott?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk
Come on,
Prescott,
bro.
Dak Cousins, they the same person. They're the same person.
It's a division with you. There's three quarterbacks and a running back, and the quarterbacks are not even all that. It's a cupcake division.
Well, that
bro.
running back
The
least
Vikings
wins.
should
We see Lamar Jackson, right? It lets
Your team is in the NFC South. This is the 1 year you can't speak.
My team is in the AFC.
Yo, bro, you're a Bucks
East,
fan, bro. You're a
AFC
Bucks fan.
East, bro. Jets up, bro.
And your starting
Yes,
QB is
bro.
Baker Mayfield. You have no talk this year about quarterbacks or about bad divisions. Exactly.
I'm a Jets fan, so I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
I don't even live in Tampa no more, bro.
That's crazy.
But my whole thing is, and I was really thinking about it. I'm not gonna hold you. This division, even though I'm not a believer in Jordan Love, I don't. We'll see.
Wait. Hold on. Let me step on this little soapbox real quick.
Here we go.
Look, I know it's preseason.
No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Because you was on my head when I did it. You don't get to do that.
Let me finish.
No way, bro.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, man.
I know it's only preseason. I might need to walk back some of the slander I had for Jordan Love. Just a little. just a little bit.
I'm
No, don't do it. No, don't walk it back.
I'm not.
Stand your ground. Stand your ground.
Stand your ground. I'm not impressed, bro.
No. What I'm not gonna do is deny what the hell I saw on tape. Like I'm just not. I'm not doing it. Look, I'm not
right now, Trey.
I'm not going to make any grand declarations. What I will say is, it's not about to be the dumpster fire in Green Bay that everyone assumes.
Trey, have you seen Zach Wilson in preseason? He looks amazing. So what are we talking
Hey,
about?
Jameis Winston out there flinging that thing,
Bro, Zach
Jameis
Wilson's
Winston out
looking
there,
sexy as a hell right now, bro.
Hey,
bro,
look,
Jake
baby,
Hayner was looking good, bro. Like, come on,
man.
man.
baby.
Come
I'm not
on,
gonna
man.
lie. I was trying to give one of my Packers fans, homies, some hope.
Nah, that's crazy. Because when I talked
You
about
tried, bro.
preseason last
Trey,
week,
you tried, bro.
when
You
I talked
tried.
about preseason last
Valiant
week,
effort.
and you was like, I was like Sam
That's all,
Elliott. I was talking about Sam Howell. You was like, I ain't trying to hear that. It's preseason, and now you up here caping.
I mean, if I'm really thinking about it, bro, like the division kind of wide open.
The division is.
I don't see any favorites. I'm gonna be honest.
I disagree.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Goff is a mid quarterback. We all agree on that.
I don't trust you.
Kirk Cousins is a mid quarterback with 4 primetime games, so we know that's 4 L's. Then you got a we don't know, but probably a mid Jordan Love.
And you got a we don't know dirt Justin
and then you got a we don't know Justin Fields, but we do know if there's anything lacking in his arm, he makes it up with his legs.
Yeah, because he's a
My
great running
only
back.
concern is that they're having some offensive line issues, and that's going to be the problem with the Bears.
Oh, so I just looked it up. He should be back by week 1.
Oh, Darnold, right?
Yeah, he should be back by week 1.
no,
They're just gonna be precaution.
But any one of these teams can win.
I'll be honest with
Any
you,
one
bro,
of these
in the
teams can
entire
win the
NFC.
division.
Is this like the NFC South?
To me, it's.
I was
very
just about to
close
say the way y'all talk about the NFC South.
It's
we
not as
usually talk
bad
about
as
the
the-
NFC.
It's not
South.
as bad, but we're
Not as
saying
bad.
me,
Not as
bro.
bad.
because here's the thing, G, because we all know that the Vikings run like 11 one-score games.
They were 11-0 on one possession.
So I know y'all don't trust that. To me, I don't trust Jared Goff because he hasn't been consistent since the Rams. It's been years. I mean, Justin Fields is we got to see. And then what's his name? Jordan Love is definitely we got to see because the Packers have the best defense, and then we don't know how this is gonna go.
And that, you know what, that might be the difference. Is the Packers have an inexperienced quarterback, and if they don't put him in a position to fail, and they rely on the things that they do have, which is a defense and a running game,
Jones. Yep.
they're going. Yeah, they have a defense, and that's the type of thing with a young quarterback that helps you. So they're actually in a position to still be one of the better teams. And honestly, you know me, I was as a Bears fan, I'm picking the Bears, but I'm not dumb. Their defense has holes. Their offensive line has some injuries. The Packers have just as much of a shot with that defense and that running game.
Hey, Fluent. I don't know if I said this earlier. I don't know if I said this.
The Lions, you trust the Vikings, but listen, the Bears, if all goes as planned, they're gonna have a pretty
Fluent. I don't know if I said this earlier, but I definitely said it in the group chat. Man, if the Bears find a way to get Jonathan Taylor,
Oh yeah, you're winning the division.
boy,
They're not even.
if they find a way to
They're
get
not even
Jonathan
considering.
They're not even trying. They're not even
You
trying.
think they should though, Florence?
which makes sense, but
Do
They
I?
already have a running back, so why would they try to get Jonathan Taylor?
They're very happy. Jonathan Taylor is better than Khalil
hey,
Herbert.
the same reason the 49ers got CMC and
Hold on a
still put
second.
Debo in the backfield.
They
I have
The
a
same
question.
reason they got
Fluent,
CMC, but they
Fluent, I have a
put
question.
Debo in the backfield.
Hold on, I have a question for Fluent. Do you think Jonathan Taylor is an upgrade in the running back position over Justin Fields? Which of the between Justin Fields and Taylor, which is a better running back in your opinion?
I think Justin Fields throwing with his foot is better than your quarterback in Tampa Bay.
That wasn't the question, but okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So, but the thing is,
There's no point of getting 2 starting running backs, so get another position.
they're happy with Khalil Herbert, and the problem isn't their running back; it's their offensive line. And Jonathan Taylor doesn't fix their offensive line, right? So they're not going to do that. But
In
look,
my opinion, bro, to me, for the most part, the NFC is pretty clear.
on Diggs. Like there's a team
Saints,
out there that can get pretty
Saints,
good.
clear.
happening. It's not
Niners, clear. The only division that's kind of close to me, bro, is the Eagles and the Cowboys. And
Who
I
did
still
you say
have the
clears?
Eagles.
Huh?
What was that?
Who did you say? Niners?
I said Niners clear, Saints clear, Eagles
Yes,
clear. For the
Niners
most
clear
part.
their division. That's what he's saying.
the Niners by week 3, they're gonna have Sam Darnold as their
No, they're not. No, they're not.
What?
Brock Purdy's playing.
That Purdy motherfucker gonna be down there slinging that rock. What
He's
you
not gonna
mean?
survive 3 weeks,
Don't
bro.
curse in front of the kid, G baby.
She can't hear. Don't worry.
I didn't even see her there. My bad.
Hello.
Now you're more fluent.
Now you're more fluent. See?
Facts.
I told him how I smoked
Wow.
your baseball. Go.
Look at this guy, man. This guy is indoctrinating his kids, man. That's falsehood, man.
Yeah.
Tell him now you're more fluent.
Now you're more fluent. I said it
Yeah.
first without you asking me.
I'm gonna mute you guys in a second.
Are they the same age?
Yeah, they're twins.
They're twins.
Oh,
I'm
they're
about
twins.
to say.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. That's nice.
But nah.
They look just alike. I'm looking. I'm like,
all
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
gonna say, all I'm gonna say,
Three of you.
Although I did have a nurse ask me once, this is kind of scary. They go, "Are they identical?" I'm like, no, one's a boy and one's a girl.
Yeah.
And the nurse said, they can't be identical. And the nurse says, well, but they look so much alike. And I'm like, yeah, like brother
You
and
know how that works? That's funny. And I have an identical twin brother, so I appreciate that. That's hilarious, man.
look, all I'm gonna say is this: as much as I would like for the Bears to win the division, I still think the Lions at the end of the day win it, because I had to eat a lot of crow when they hired Dan Campbell and he came up there talking about he was gonna bite people's kneecaps off.
Yeah, that blew me. Bro. I ain't gonna lie, that blew me.
I thought that was.
Hey, they needed something different in that organization, and now look at them.
I thought that whole press conference was real strange. And then
and he wants to bring a lion on the field with a chain.
Yeah,
that's a New Orleans Saint legend right there, man.
Look,
as
crazy as that was, the staff that he put together and the way they play football, they are aggressive, they run the ball, and they're going to be better on defense. I don't think they're going to be great on defense, but they're going to be better.
Coach, how many wins do you have the Bears and their running back Justin Fields winning this year?
You just want to hate on Justin Fields so much, man.
Hey, they gonna go 500, OJ.
500.
Oh, so they going 9-8? Hey, 9-8 might win them the division.
9-8.
They'll go 9.
Let's transition to a different.
I say one thing.
Go ahead.
Real quick, because he keeps calling him a running back, and I love that. You know why I love it? Because all last season, all off season, all summer, all I heard from Bama was Jalen Hurts is just a running back. And that mother, you know what, took them to a Super Bowl. So you know what?
I know you did not just make that comparison, but Dub, I'm gonna let you go.
Jalen Hurts,
you and Bama like twins.
I'm gonna eat that fluent.
Oh,
pause.
Yeah, G Baby and Trent, I'm on y'all heads all season, just like the Saints and Daniel Jones.
Hey, Eagles Nation.
This is the same guy.
Won't MIA.
This is the same guy who, when the Eagles lost the Super Bowl,
I'm not gonna lie to you, baby.
He had to work.
And once I found out his profession, it's actually understandable. Very understandable.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but
Jesus Christ.
I was like, I just find it coincidental. It happened at the same time. But hey, don't care before you, so you right.
Andrew Carr flew just like the Heisman Trophy. That's a Green Bay trophy in your trophy case down there. So again, even if the Bears win it, they lose.
Facts.
That's crazy.
Because Lombardi,
Yes.
Yep.
Well, then anybody that wins it, like that's.
I guess.
Yep, she killed you. She killed you there.
That's the weak Green Bay thing. That's all you can say, I guess.
So we keep talking about Justin Fields and everything, but I want to talk about a different Justin, right? We talked about winning quarterback stat and everything. So Ray Brown, like, how do you feel about the Chargers and their quarterback and Justin Herbert as well?
I like Herbert. Like I said, I was a skeptic at first, but I like what he's done. I think, the commitment they made to him financially telling you that the organization believes in him. So. He got good receivers, pretty good defense, but San Diego's in the same division as Kansas City, so they're gonna have a fight no matter what, twice a week. And then there's a lot of hate between the Raiders and San Diego, so they're gonna have a tough time. But I like the quarterback. I think he can win football games for them.
And I think they should move back to San Diego.
I agree, Fluid. Yeah, but that's modern day football. They chasing that dollar.
Look, I worry about that that staff, not so much Justin Herbert, but just that staff. Because one, Brendan Staley, sir, you're on the hot seat. That's first and foremost. Because you got rid of the offensive coordinator. Usually what happens after you get rid of an offensive coordinator as a young head coach who has the quarterback and you're a defensive guy who's gotten all the defensive pieces and things don't work out the way they're supposed to work out, quote unquote, the next guy who's usually out of there is you. So this is on you. The thing that I will continue to say, I said this last year, and until I see evidence of it changing, I'm going to say it again. That organization from top to bottom dabbles a little too much in numbers for my liking. And for that and that reason
Can you
alone,
unpack that a little bit?
So when I say they dabble in numbers too much, if you go through the way they called games, the way the roster constructed, it's heavy into analytics. Like, that was one of the main things that happened when Brandon Staley got that job and that new kind of regime took over. It's a lot of analytics. I believe analytics has a place in football. However, I don't think it's the end all be all.
Yeah, I agree. John Harbaugh is guilty of that a little bit too.
And because of that, until I see them lean into a little bit more of more football, like traditional football sense, I'm never going to be able to believe in them. Also, I said this, like, I get it. Kellen Moore is a much better offensive coordinator than what's his name? Michael Lombardi.
Joe Lombardi.
Joe Lombardi. My bad, not Michael. However, one, he's new, so he's still gonna have to adjust. And two, the only real issue that I ever had with Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator, and it's like, I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but I've said it on here before. He calls plays like he's playing Madden. He has a lot of creative plays that if you look at them in a vacuum, they look great. However, as somebody who watched a lot of Cowboys games because they're a division rival, it didn't always seem like he was marrying concepts together. He wasn't always setting things up. So, like, yeah, all that stuff looks great in a vacuum, but you got to be able to, like, there's a flow to things sometimes, and I don't
just say it, Trey. He had Dak throwing the ball damn near 50 times. He might have Herbert throwing it 60 times. Just say it.
Look, if he got Herbert throwing it 60 times, he's probably in a much better spot than he would having Dak throwing it 50.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I hear what you're saying, and what they run the risk of doing. Right, Coach Jackson used to beat this into my head every single week. He'd be like, "You can mess up a quarterback, and if you go to what's it going to be, his third or fourth head coach in 4 years, like that's a lot of turnover, that's a lot of change, that's a lot of different terminologies and whatever that, and you can take this very like uber talented quarterback and you can mess him up just as quickly as you can build him up." And so they have to be careful this year, because if they do that, and like you said, he's on the hot seat and they don't play up to their expectations, which are high now that they paid him. Now another head coach, like that's not good. That's gonna be dangerous for him.
Anybody else?
For me, man, as far as Justin Herbert, how I evaluate him, bro, it's really tough, man. He's not because he has all the talent in the world, and I don't think anyone on this panel would ever dispute his talent, man. And so, really, it's like for me, for the amount of talent he has, and to some degree, the talent he has around him, I think he should win more. But it's almost like I can't really quantify to what extent he should win more. I don't know what that number is. You know what I mean? I just feel as though he should have won more, but I can't tell you.
Okay, so with what you just said, this is where I'm going to go with that, because I do believe that there are some games where, even though it wasn't necessarily Herbert's fault, he got to get better. He got to be better. A la 27-0, a la the year before against Houston.
Yeah,
that was a game where it was like, it's Houston, bro.
Yeah,
you
and he
should not be
often
looking that
starts
bad.
slow too, man. He often starts slow, and he has these heroic fourth quarter comebacks and everything. Like,
Yes,
you
absolutely.
have to be consistent throughout the game. That's something I'd like to see from him
Yes,
too.
and I feel like when it comes to Justin Herbert, like, yes, the fact that his first playoff game was a 27-0 blown lead, I know it leaves a lot of bad taste in people's mouths. However, I feel like because, and I'm not saying y'all do this, I just feel like in general, I feel like because we saw Mahomes win off the rip, and Brady been winning for so long, and then like even more recently with Jalen Hurts, year 3, he in the chip. I feel like we forget that sometimes, even though they have all the talent in the world, especially Herbert in the situation where he's in the same division as Patrick Mahomes and now a stacked AFC, unfortunately, he's not going to win all the time. I think that's why me, Dub, Trey, we more focus on your performance. We focus on your performance when you get there. If you're doing everything you need to do and other people set, like Josh Allen, for example, that game, I think he played about as perfect as a game as you ever could. But what happened? I guess 13 seconds for the number 1 secondary in the league was too much time. I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I guess 13 seconds for the number 1 secondary was too much. There's nothing Josh Allen could have done differently in that. Like, he did the 2-minute drill. He did it perfectly.
Yep.
Anybody else, you say, oh, wow, what a great drive. And there's 13 seconds left on the clock. Y'all going to win this game.
Almost perfect. Perfect would have been 0 seconds.
That's disgusting. No, that's disgusting.
Almost perfect. Almost perfect.
But that's why performance is when you get there. That's why I look at Peyton Manning differently now. Because you go back and look at the performances, it's like, Peyton, I don't know, gang. Like, that's why I feel like he's not gonna win as much, but because it was his first playoff game, and that's what happened in your first game, I feel like eventually that stain's gonna get off him, but it's the first season afterwards. So I get what you're saying when you feel like he should have won more. But let's just say they just lose that game to the Jaguars, but it's back and forth the whole time. I don't think anybody's tripping on Herbert losing. True. But because, again, your defense spotted you 5 turnovers. 5. Like, I feel like that's why there's definitely, like, a bad taste in people's mouth. But I think Herbert and, like, all these other quarterbacks, too, like, you gonna perform, but you're not always going to win. And, unfortunately, Mahomes looking like the next Brady. Like, the way he winning right now. So, like,
Mahomes is better than Brady.
No, I'm talking about like in the sense of like he's gonna be running that conference. Like in order to get to the chip, you gotta go through Kansas City and you gotta go through Mahomes if you want to get to the chip.
Does anyone here have Herbert top 5?
Me.
I do.
Me.
So 3 people. Interesting. Okay.
But do you know why? And I hate it when people keep saying that shit. I talked to Fluent about this last night. I mean, not last night. Last week. Pause.
Hey, yo.
It's like it's not bad. Even if we go by y'all standards of like what makes a quarterback, it's still not bad to call him a top 5 quarterback because again, outside of Mahomes, who's proven in the league? Josh Allen ain't proven. Lamar ain't proven.
What do you mean proven though, Dub? Like what? Like
you mean champion?
No, because what y'all do, y'all act as if it's such a bad problem or a bad thing to label him as a top 5 quarterback. When if we talk about the majority of the league and by y'all standards, it's still not ridiculous to call him top 5 because nobody's really proven like that in the league right now besides Mahomes.
But hold on, Dub, let me interject real quick. If my criteria of proven is to win at least 2 playoff games, I could easily say Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and obviously we have Mahomes. That's 5 right there, easily, bro.
That's it. You're saying if. I'm asking your criteria. What's your criteria?
Well, that would be one of them. Like if I'm just making it up on the spot right now, for me, I would like.
So you have Rodgers better than Justin Herbert right now?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson
moved from 2 consecutive MVPs.
Russell Wilson.
Okay, so then Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
That's a great question. Russell
Wilson's better too?
No.
No, I don't have
He's proven.
Well, Russell, he's had a better career. Is he better today? No.
No, he's not.
But okay, but
We
even
could say
then,
that with
even
Aaron
then,
Rodgers, too.
even then, you can say that with Herbert. Even though they might have better postseason success right now.
They're not better.
It's not
players.
crazy to say Herbert is better than some of these guys.
But hold on, but isn't that all that matters? Because at the end of the day, right?
no.
How are we going to judge him? I'm sorry. How do we judge?
Wait, how do you judge what?
Rivers?
He's saying that like all that matters.
How are we going to judge him?
This is how you judge it. And I realized something fluent. People value things differently. And I think the best example is Lamar Jackson. Right? For me, I have Lamar Jackson over Justin Herbert, even though you guys might think I hate on Lamar Jackson. But here's the thing, bro. If I'm looking at a stat sheet, bro, Justin Herbert's more talented. He does a lot more better than Lamar Jackson. But what Lamar Jackson brings to the table, you can't really quantify it in a stat sheet, though. So what do you value? So that's the debate philosophically, bro. Like, what do we? So for me, I try to do talent and sort of like production wins and playoff success.
Hey, I'm sorry, real quick.
So
when did Lamar get better than Herbert?
I was trying to sack him.
I'm sorry,
Let
real
me
quick.
ask you
When
this.
did Lamar Jackson get better than Herbert for you, OJ? Because I could have swore you had Lamar at like 9 or 10.
Facts.
Nah, bro, I never did. I'll be honest with you, with Lamar Jackson, bro, half the time, bro, I'd be trolling and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I was like, because I know there's a clip somewhere in the world.
Yeah, there's several clips, bro. There's several clips.
Yeah, okay.
Look,
OJ, I love your honesty, man. You got to say it.
Man.
Yeah, get at him. Hey,
I know
guys, I
OJ's
just want to
not
tell
known for
y'all
honesty,
thanks,
but-
man. I appreciate everything, man. Dub, G Baby, Fluid, appreciate you guys. OJ, stay
thanks for
true
being
to
on,
who
man.
you are, man. That's a running back, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Trey.
All right.
Y'all have a good one, man. Appreciate
Have
you
a
guys.
good night,
God
man.
bless, man.
Thanks for your
Appreciate
time.
you, Coach.
All right, take care.
Time here, brother. Be easy.
All right, bye.
Did you guys
Shout out to
have?
Ray, man.
did you-
Shout out to
he's
Ray.
awesome.
Give a W for Ray.
Facts.
He's dope.
He was only for an
W
hour.
guess.
I was listening as I was driving home. I was listening in my car. I'm like, I like this dude. Did you guys? But I didn't hear the beginning. Did you guys ask him, like as a guard, because most offensive linemen will tell you like they love to run block or pass block. Did you guys like ask him any of that stuff?
That's probably the only question we didn't ask him for.
Oh, okay.
We asked him who's his hardest player to block, because I didn't, because I've known Ray Brown since like 2016. When Trey told me he played the league a long time, I'm like, okay, for sure. I looked at him. He played since Michael Jordan's second, third year in the NBA.
He played for 2 decades.
And
And he was making an all-pro team
he
in
retired at
2001.
45, bro.
When you said he was coming on, I'm like, oh, the guy from the 49ers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I went and looked, and I didn't realize how many other teams and how long. Crap.
Bro, the fact that he got played,
So
his
45?
rookie year was like an 85, 86. He was making an all-pro team at 01. That's wild, bro. Like, you 16 years in the league and you make an all-pro. Like,
Well, it's it. When you 6'5" and 3 bills, man, there's a job for you.
I was about to say, I don't know if y'all kind of like peeped it while he was sitting there enjoying
Wait,
it.
it's literally like this.
I was about to say, dog,
With the headphones on like this.
yeah, dog, and he's one of the biggest, most intimidating human beings I have ever seen. And y'all saw him today. Great human being. Like, he'll sit there and yuck it up with you, but
When I on that field,
fam, he is all off.
that's another thing
hey,
about
but talking.
So I knew the 49ers late 90s. So this is he started in 86 and retired in 05.
Yep. Here's another thing about coaching. It's like it's really like two different animals. Like when they're for example, my dad, when he's not coaching, cool, cooling. On that field, bro, it's in the film room, it's a totally different
ballgame.
Bro,
Absolutely,
it's so crazy, bro.
Absolutely, and I especially I love his vibes and the way he reminds me. For those of you who have been to church, don't he remind you of that old not that old deacon, but that deacon that's kind of how you doing today? He gonna make sure you put all the chairs up, kind of give you that second uncle type vibes.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. No, none.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
Nah, bro.
That's crazy.
Brown's cool. I really appreciate him coming on.
No, but that definitely fun. Shout out to him.
But Dub though, I wanted to say I wouldn't say it's crazy. I don't know if I'd say it's crazy to put Herbert top 5, bro. Like
look from a talent perspective, like you said, and
from a talent perspective, I get it, bro.
And depending on what not the person doing the rating, what they value, it's very easy to put him top 5 because he has everything that a top 5.
He has top 3 talent, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top 3 talent, maybe even top 2, bro.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, like let's be honest. Like 2 years ago, we were having a legitimate Burrow, Justin Herbert.
A year ago.
The only reason Burrow jumped ahead is because he led them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, not even legitimate fluent. Most people in social media, they had Herbert clearly over Burrow. Most people. I remember I was one of the few people. And so when
social media quarterback
jumped on the bandwagon, I was like, yeah, I got there first type of thing. But yeah, bro, for sure. Like
the thing is that I have a hard time.
I don't think the Chargers are gonna be that good this year. Like he is not getting any help.
The thing is, I just have a hard time understanding is like, even if we're going off of the logic where we're going to penalize guys for like not winning and everything.
Better penalize Lamar.
And then like Joe Burrow, let's say Joe Burrow made to the Super Bowl, so we'll go with that, right? And Mahomes. Outside of that, Allen inconsistent. Lamar can't be on the field. Hasn't won anything. Hasn't performed one.
Yo, we gotta be honest, bro.
What about Aaron?
If Joe, because this
Aaron Rodgers for the last Aaron Rodgers missed the playoffs, and then the last time we seen him in the playoffs, he couldn't score TD.
That's what I'm saying. So that's another one. And I'm not gonna lie, Dub. Even though he just went to the Super Bowl, because this last playoff run Joe Burrow had,
doo-doo.
And then he had the perfect game versus the Bills. And then that Chiefs game, he didn't play well. So if he has another few dubs next year, people gonna have the same conversation they did with Josh Allen do with Joe Burrow. They're gonna do the same thing.
The year Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl, people forget.
One bad game and he's out. One good game.
But
that's what everyone's doing. But that's the
because here's the thing with Josh Allen.
That's the point Trent is making. Like you're overreacting off of Burrow because him making it to the Super Bowl. But then when he plays bad, like y'all just trying to brush it down. Like it just is.
But because here's the thing, because it's like every year a quarterback gets overrated. I think last year was Josh Allen. People saying he was the clear number 2. Now, to me, I think it's this year with Joe Burrow because yes, he made a Super Bowl.
I think it's Trevor Lawrence, but yeah.
I mean, he's another one too. But I'm talking about like the top 5s because like. Joe Burrow, he went to the Super Bowl, but like nobody talks about them 2 duds he had in the playoffs.
I was about to say because
Trent,
against the Raiders, he was cool. Against the Titans, he was whatever. And then even in that Chiefs game, he had a great second half, but he had a terrible first. And then in the Super Bowl, let's keep it a buck. He wasn't all that. T. Higgins had the most blatant offensive PI in history, and they didn't call it. Like the most blatant.
But Matthew Stafford wasn't crazy either, bro. I don't know,
it was a dog.
Whoa! Stop! It's not. Why are you bringing up Stafford in the equation when we're talking about Joe Burrow?
Individual performance. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about the performance.
No, because G Baby said in the Super Bowl he wasn't all that, and to me, I'm like, I thought he wasn't bad. I thought he was bad in the Super Bowl.
I didn't say he was bad, but I'm saying he's been playing solid. But the way people gas him up, like he's this OD playoff.
This is the Joe.
If you don't, and you are big proponents of winning isn't a quarterback stat. So if winning isn't a quarterback stat, so shouldn't then you look at their holistically what they've done, not one game, not one quarter, not one half. And when you look at what he's done in total, yes, there's been bad games, bad quarters, bad halves. Is his resume not, and including Aaron Rodgers, is it his resume not better for you guys? Because it's not about winning. That's not a quarterback stat. Isn't his overall resume better?
Yeah.
Can I tell you? Can I give you the answer? His overall resume, when we look at it like that, there's more mid to bad games. There are great games. The only great game I remember from Joe Burrow was when he was going up against the Raiders, the Bills.
The Bills in the snow game. Because the Raiders game he played in.
Wait, you talking about the Bills? The
Bills this year when he just smoked it, when they smoked the Bills this year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because I think
everything outside of that is like okay, it's not great, but it's not.
So all we're saying is fluent that people
you feel in their careers Herbert has had more good games than Joe Burrow has had good games.
No. That's not what we're saying, Fluent. Because we're just saying Joe Burrow.
I was just talking to
a lot of people.
Hold on. I'll explain it. I'll explain it for him, G baby. I was just saying in terms of like Joe Burrow's playoff resume. Like we're talking about his playoff resume, like it's more mid to like okay rather than him playing great. Now, I think Burrow is better than Justin Herbert, like in my personal opinion, right? Won't even argue with you. But if we're discounting like Justin Herbert versus a Lamar Jackson, like Josh Allen's in this, Josh Allen, maybe he could Josh Allen could be slightly over him, but then Lamar and Herbert, I'm not gonna lie.
So hasn't
like you're splitting hairs at that point.
5 years, hasn't Lamar done more than Herbert?
Play longer.
Lamar,
longer, but he hasn't.
But Dub, with Lamar Jackson, you're talking about
when we're ranking.
You're talking about doing so much more with less, and you're talking about he won an MVP. Now, granted, that was in NFL terms, that was a long time ago. But what has Herbert accomplished though?
But
Justin Herbert. I'm gonna tell him what.
What do we have to judge Herbert on? Is my point is it's talent and skill, which he has an abundance of, and that's it.
Well, when we're ranking people, we're usually ranking people within the last 3 years, not the whole last 5 years, right? Russell Westbrook 5 years ago was great, but Russell Westbrook 5 years ago isn't who he is now. I'm not going to take what he did 5 or 4 years ago and apply to him now.
Right.
He's mainly for the last 2 to 3
quarterback,
seasons, right?
but Herbert's better now. Yeah,
things happen. Russell Wilson as well.
Sure.
So Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson, in recent memory, if we're going off of like proving what they've done, we haven't seen shit from Lamar, and I think the last time he was in the playoffs was 3 years ago.
It was like 2020 when he got hurt.
Well, what did he even do?
The first game against the Titans, that's when he got his first playoff win. He wasn't all that. It wasn't crazy. And then the Bills game, Justin Tucker missed 3 kicks. He got hurt in the middle of that game. But that was the game Justin Tucker literally missed 3 gimmies in a row.
That's why,
that's
3
30 yards, 40
me and
yards.
G-Baby and Dub talking about like the proven part because we're talking about them now. And Lamar in these past 2-3 years ain't done that. Like
and then also too with Lamar, he's been hurt.
And if somebody said Lamar's better than Herbert, I'm not bad at I'm cool with that. But it's
so
like
Trent say he hasn't done anything in the playoff.
I'm saying we compare like when we saying
Lamar
had one good game against Tennessee for the last 3 years.
I'm saying
with Lamar being hurt, what you're saying is the last time we saw what people are saying is the last time we saw him healthy, he was maybe that's what they're saying because I don't actually agree with this, but he was better than what we're seeing from Herbert. I think
Fluent even then in the regular season, Lamar has been better than Herbert in the regular season.
3 years, and he ended his last playoff game was against the Bills where he didn't play great, and then the Tennessee Titans where he played great.
And Dub, that's one of the criticisms I have for Lamar Jackson, like his need to be better in the playoffs. So I'll give you that. I'm not. And by the way, bro, to me, like you said, Lamar and Herbert, I'm not.
Lamar has one. Bro. Oh my bad. Lamar has one playoff win in his whole career. So
yeah.
That's crazy.
So, I don't think so. This is the main. I think this is the main issue.
So OG, this is my point, right? When we're going off of this wins and losses and including talent and everything, fine, perfect. But then don't look at people like they're kind of crazy, or don't look at people in kind of judgmental way when they're having Herbert in top 5 conversations when the majority of these guys aren't really proven like that within the last 2 to 3 seasons. Like they're not.
And then especially when it comes to Burrow, I think our biggest thing, people gas Burrow up like he's an all-time player.
It's the Mahomes effect, bro.
And he's not. But he beat Mahomes 3 times in a row. And that's the Mahomes stopper. Remember when they was calling him that?
Yeah,
hold on. But there is something to be said when the clear-cut best quarterback in the NFL is Patrick Mahomes, and your record against him in the playoffs is whatever it is.
It's 1-1.
It's 1-1.
1-1.
He was beating him in the regular season. He was 2-0 with them in the regular season.
But that's
1-1 in the playoffs.
Right? I think here's the main thing that me and G-Baby Dub have a problem with. It's not even the fact that like who you think is like better than the other player. I think it's the logic with y'all. Like, I think that's the main
like,
thing.
If you're going to criticize one, you got to criticize all.
I'm not mad at people saying Lamar, Burrow, even Rodgers. You want to say Rodgers? I'm not mad at nobody saying that.
Y'all will say, here's a prime example. Y'all will say when Dante Hall was on the show, winning's a QB stat, get it done. Y'all got Lamar top 5. How does that add up?
Oh, I don't have Lamar top 5.
I'm just saying though, like
So
who is your top 5? Actually, we haven't done that in a while.
I haven't even thought about it. Like right now, current.
If you are,
if Lamar's not top 5, Herbert's not top 5. Who's top?
I didn't.
If I were to say it right now without thinking, I would say Mahomes.
Yeah,
I'll say Mahomes, Burrow,
easy one.
Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Rodgers, Lamar / Herbert. I don't.
So why is
without even thinking? That's what
here's what I love about the NFL. It's Mahomes 1.
Yeah.
And then it's literally Burrow, Herbert, Lamar, Rodgers. There's like 7 guys that are like, I don't care where you have them because you can make a case for them.
I think 2 through 4 is so interchangeable, and then it's like 5. I think 5, 6, 7 should be like a. And
that's why when the winning comes in, has to be the differentiator, because when we look at them 5, 10, 20 years from now, how are we going to judge them? Did they win?
I mean, if that's the case, then
we're looking at these guys now.
I know. That's
okay, but even with what you just said, Fluent, with everything you just said, if you're going to look at the winning as the separator, you know what? I don't even disagree with that to an extent, but are you the reason they're winning? Because if you're thinking it, that's why I'm saying.
Here's another thing with that, though, G. But G, here's another thing
with 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and be like, oh, I won. No,
here's another problem I have that with those, G. We talk about this winning thing, and then we go to these all-time arguments. I'm hearing Dan Marino's in these top 5s. How?
I took him out because of that.
Look,
I don't think that's crazy, Trent. I don't.
Let me.
No, I think if somebody said, I'm not gonna lie. Somebody said Demario's top 5. I'm not bad. Like I understand why.
I bring him up all the time.
It's a QB stat and this and that.
Okay, I got you. Now you're talking about the logic is inconsistent.
Look at that. We should look. It's just a piece of the puzzle. Like I always say this. I always bring up Phillip Rivers, and everybody all gets weird about it. Statistically, Phillip Rivers is fantastic. Why does no one give him any love? Because he didn't win. That's the
that's not true. That's not true.
It's because he didn't perform in the
playoffs. He didn't win with what he had.
If he won one Super Bowl, we were having a completely different conversation, because everybody forgets they had the number 1 offense, number 1 defense,
and missed the playoffs.
Because their special teams was so atrocious.
What was that, 2010?
Yes, 2010. So let me ask you this.
If he won a Super Bowl, I guarantee you everyone's talking completely
different. This is why I don't. This is why I don't. Wait, hold on.
Not me.
This is why I don't like the Phillip Rivers argument. Even if he won a Super Bowl, do you think he's a top 10 quarterback of all time?
I love
me personally, no, but I bet you there'd be people that would put him in, because statistically he's like 5 or 6 in all the main categories.
But even in a talent perspective, like, can you even say he's a top 10 talent? Like,
that's the problem.
My problem with Phillip Rivers,
Steve Young's better than his ass.
That's Stafford better than Phillip Rivers if we keep it in the box.
He's a gunslinger.
Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame.
Talent-wise, dog, like. I'm taking Matt Ryan and Matt Stafford.
Eli Manning's
Matt Ryan.
2 Super Bowls. That's it.
Stafford, yes, not Ryan though.
Look, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, not Matt Ryan. Ryan.
No.
I'm not gonna say that it's just the 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, Trey, let's not do the Eli conversation.
I'm not gonna.
We did that,
Eli, because when he retired, he was top 10 all time in passing yards and touchdowns. When he
Phillip Rivers.
So with a 157 and 157
and Phillip Rivers.
Because if I do it for another player, y'all gonna be an ass.
Look, all I'm saying.
Rivers had more.
I was about to say, wait, let me get it on.
Rivers did have a lot.
We have to get out of here, because I've sat here for the last couple of weeks and let y'all go back and forth with the whole winning is a QB stat or winning is a team stat. I personally believe that winning is a team stat. However, it's a little more gray area in case by case than what we would like to admit. I get it. We place all the feet, like the blame or all the praise, at the feet of the quarterback, because that's just how we process things. However, it's not always that black and white. Prime example, we bring up Lamar Jackson's playoff record. I get it. That first playoff game that he had, like as a starter, like his first real playoff game when he's a rookie, you were not winning that game. His first real game was against the Titans. If you go back and watch that game, just watch the entirety of it, unbiased, There is no way you're going to watch that game and say the reason they lost that game is because of Lamar Jackson. The reason they lost that game is because Derrick Henry ran roughshod against that defense and effectively ended Earl Thomas's Hall of Fame career when he shoved him out of bounds like a 5-year-old. He treated a vaunted defense like children. And on the other side of it, Lamar, did he play perfect? Absolutely not. Yeah. He also had 500 yards of total offense. That
wasn't the Titans game, though.
That was the first Titans game. That was the first Titans game.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
I'm bringing it up because the first Titans game, yes, he lost it. But to y'all's point, he wasn't the reason that they lost.
But that's why. But I think that's where we get into these debates or arguments, is because when we say it's a QB, winning is a QB stat, we don't mean it's the be all and end all. We mean, at least I mean, some people differently, so I'll only speak for myself. I mean that it is a factor. Now it could be weighted differently. You can look at it however.
The most important variable.
But it is something to look at, because again, and it's the easiest example. If you look at statistics between Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers is better. And if Phillip Rivers had 2 Super Bowl runs, we'd be having a very different conversation about him. And if Eli Manning didn't have those 2 Super Bowl runs, we'd be having a very different conversation.
So Fluent, before we end the show, let me ask you a question.
It's just like with, look, I say this with basketball talks all the time. It's about looking at everything and then weighting it, because it all matters. So is winning a QB stat? Absolutely, to a certain extent.
So Fluent, before we end the show, let me ask you a question. In your mind, you have control of this. Is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
No.
Next question.
But
Warren Moon a Hall of Famer?
It's mine. When it comes to the NFL and NBA basketball Hall of Fame, I think there's like 2 times, maybe 3 times too many people in it. So is Warren Moon a Hall of Famer? No.
Okay, cool. That's all I need.
He's a football Hall of Famer, not an NFL Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Oh, he changed it because
a couple months ago you said he was all
Eli will get in the Hall though. He's not deserving of it. He'll get in though
because of what he did CFL and NFL. He's in a football Hall of Fame. He's not an NFL Hall of Fame though.
All right, well, let's get these super chats out the way before we log off. From Angie Carr, think A-Rod suiting up this Saturday makes sense.
Yes.
No.
Yes. As a resident Jets fan on here, I have the most important opinion. Yes.
All right. He needs 3 plays.
If he plays a series, I don't see the problem.
Bro, we gotta see what he has, bro.
Just get him some reps.
Get
him some reps.
He needs to have a feel for it, bro. A real-time feel.
Yeah, I don't think as long as he ain't playing no full first half.
One or 2 possessions.
Are the only wide receiver he's ever actually played with? The offense. He does.
He needs reps.
They gotta know what, they gotta understand what it's like for him.
Man, my Jets need this, man. My Jets really need this.
This man said my Jets.
Angie Carr again with the super chat.
I'm so disappointed in you, OJ. I never thought you'd be a jump on.
That's crazy.
No,
most pressure to win. Rodgers or
Jackson. Just a root for Baker. That's all it is. It's not.
You said the most. I'm not
gonna most pressure to win. Rodgers or Jackson.
I know y'all say Aaron Rodgers, which I totally understand because he probably has a year or 2 left.
What does a win mean?
Like
Super Bowl.
Rodgers.
I feel why you're saying Rodgers. I'm not gonna argue.
Who here thinks Lamar Jackson reasonably is nobody.
No. Hey, OJ, you know why? I've been the same person too. When Lamar gets a serious weapon, he can go to a Super Bowl. So that's what I'm saying. We've been saying this for years.
Aaron Rodgers didn't go to the Jets not to win. And what is the knock against Rodgers? The only knock against
Rodgers? They didn't give Lamar those weapons for him not to win. It's the same thing. And Lamar began let's keep it up. Whether it's just
last dance. Lamar isn't on his last dance.
I was just about to say.
Okay, you say that fluent, but that man been
out of pocket. All I'm saying is this: Aaron Rodgers has 2 or 3 years left max in his playing career. We can heap all the pressure that we want to upon Lamar Jackson's shoulders. At the end of the day, he's 26, 27?
Coming off of back-to-back injuries, and if he don't hold up,
but here's the thing, though,
G baby, do you hold Lamar Jackson's career in as high regard anywhere near as most people hold Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, no, he hasn't been here long enough.
Exactly. That's why the pressure's on Rodgers, because this is his last.
And I understand that, but I feel like with Lamar, the past, even when he went 15-1, whatever it was, everybody been saying, "Oh, he needs help. He needs the weapons."
And you know what?
So if he gets the weapons and he don't perform,
they're gonna say they just need a year to get things.
Even then, the weapons are not crazy. I mean, let's
It's
not act
enough.
like they're crazy.
it's enough. Zay Flowers, Odell, and Mark Andrews is enough.
I know the only
Enough for what? Super Bowl? Enough for what?
They can win a division
You're gonna be
easily.
disappointed in Odell.
They can for sure win a division.
They can definitely make a run.
You're
And
gonna
let's
be
be real,
disappointed.
Lamar Jackson.
You're
Hey,
disappointed in Odell.
hey, I know this is nasty, and I know we got to wrap it up soon. But if we look at Lamar Jackson head to head in them big games with the lack of weapons, he show up in the regular season against Mahomes and these boys. And let's be real, is the Chiefs defense scaring us? No. Chris Jones is. Anybody else? No.
Not if he's not playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Also too from Mavs Sammy 41. Big Ben clears by a mile. Eli.
See, there's an exception to winning matters. There's your exception right there.
I don't know about that. Big Ben is a little nasty.
Yeah.
And then from
That's why I said your exception to winning matters.
Yo, that's
Because he
from
won.
C.
This is a fact.
From C3JJ, they say winning is a QB stat, yet can understand how the talent, skill, and stats make Marino a top 10 quarterback over other quarterbacks who won.
Facts. 100% facts.
Yeah.
And that is going
Now,
to
Marino
be,
might be. Marino might again. There's sometimes exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, Marino's definitely a talent. That's the logic is talent. That's not.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be our show. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Tomorrow's Kobe Day.
Today's Kobe's birthday, so give
Today's
us,
Kobe's birthday. Tomorrow is Kobe Day. So y'all make sure y'all wear y'all Kobe's.
8/24.
8/24. Come check out Fluent and Chill. We're not supposed to, but we're gonna talk some Kobe because it's Kobe Day.
So we can listen to Chill disrespect him and say he's not top 10 all time.
No, we won't let him say that. I'll mute him.
Please don't let him say that. Not tomorrow, man.
That will forever be the clip that cooked the Discord. Come join the Discord if you want to hear all these nasty takes. Because Trey and Trent are a lot nastier in the Discord than they are on the show. They're a lot nastier. So
I'm not nasty.
I could see that.
Lies.
Stay on after this.
All right, bet. But y'all be easy. Y'all like the video on your way out. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man.
And by the way, guys, when you get a chance, check out Hard Knocks to watch greatness. Aaron Rodgers is the greatest to ever done it. I'm excited about my
Okay, and that's how we're ending the show.
Yeah, get out of here.
Y'all have a good one.